Okay, this is going to work for a short term. You might be able to hear me for a second while I fix some things. A program of mine that is where my audio runs through needed an update, and because of that, it decided to break everything about 60 seconds before stream began. Because of course that happened. On the bright side, this will be our little way to get everything to fall in line. Test. No. I might go mute for a second. Okay, I'm just going to use my regular output then. Let me know if I need to tweak the volume and settings and all that good jazz. I'm going to get back onto you guys. So, sorry about that. Late. Hi guys. We are live. I don't know if you know that. Lollyho Jellybean, good to see you, glad to have you. Ray Ray, good to see you, glad to have you. Sarah, good to see you, glad to have you. Tethys, good to see you, glad to have you. Aaron, good to see you, glad to have you. Chris, good to see you, glad to have you. Deathberry, good to see you, glad to have you. Things are doing okay. I'm still trying to recover from COVID, and I am kind of a mess still, but yeah. Yep, can't hear me, oh dear, I can faintly hear the background music. Yeah, reminder, no spoilers, oh fun, oh no, technology is wonderful timing sometimes, yeah. Of course, what else should be an application update when you're not about to use it? Yep, volume is good, hooray! Richard, good to see you, glad to have you. Yes! And for those of you, I think for those of you who are already here, you're probably aware, but remember that we're trying to use that notification instead of at everybody to prevent annoying people on the Discord. However, it seems that at notification is less effective, as it were. So if you have notifications turned off for the Discord, you may want to turn them back on. With that said, you guys ready to start 2.2? Sorry, trying to stay hydrated and food in my stomach, otherwise the illness creeps in. Jellybean's ready. Angie, good to see you, glad to have you. Raise the roof. The roof's actually pretty high above my head. So, well, we've got a ways until we get to the trial, so for any of those you wanted to end up joining the trial, we've got a couple hours yet, probably. But let's get things started, shall we? Yep, good to see you. Glad to have you. Or would Deadpool raise the wolf? Yeah, I think he's upstairs. Oh, you can't see the game? Yeah. A different thing broke, and so I'm having to stream the game through a thing that will let you see everything on my monitor rather than just the game, so I was being a little careful. Because Issa and Ray Ray get mad at me when I'm not careful. Yeah, fixed it. Anyone have anything new to say? Oh, I take it you've come to study the tomes as well. It's very, very important to broaden your knowledge, as Yistola says. Take me with you, Elio, please. I said I wanted to take on greater responsibilities, but I didn't expect her to keep tomes on my desk in response. As you can see, our Charlian allies have furnished us with a wealth of new tomes. 'Twould be prudent of you to broaden your knowledge as well. Let me read the tomes. Where are the books? Let me read them! Let me read them! Why taunt me? Yeah, we already talked to Hori Boulder, Papalymonita last time. Talked to Flamine. Yep, Thancred just wooing over Flamine. Is it not wonderful, Elio? Nary a single presumptuous merchant has darkened our door. I know full well they will come in time, but for now, let us enjoy the respite. It's easy to forget that, like, someone had to take the time to put these here, write that dialogue, and have that bubble pop up. Like, to take the time to have little things like that going on and around, it takes dev time. Okay, guys, we good? You know who we're about to meet. Miss Ninja Lady herself. Is there any VO in 2.2? Because there wasn't in all of 2.1. It was crazy. Truly, there is no rest for the weary. Scarce had I begun to make myself at home when I received a request for assistance from Amagina and Sons Mineral Concern. It would appear that the storehouse in Horizon has been the target of a series of covert robberies. Minor as they seemed in isolation, occasional discrepancies in the manifests were long dismissed as clerical errors. It was only during the Concern's annual audit that a pattern became apparent. Significant quantities of crystals, and only crystals, were missing. I need hardly tell you what that may imply. Thanks, Sarah. The brass blades charged with investigating the thefts believe that someone within the concern is selling the crystals for profits. Alas, they have as yet been unable to identify a likely suspect, and the concern's proprietors have grown frustrated by their lack of progress. Needless to say, I would not have agreed to intervene had the stolen goods been merely of monetary value. If there is even a possibility that the thief acts not out of self-interest, but in service to a primal, we can ill afford to wait for the blades to realize their mistake. Pray, depart for Horizon at your earliest convenience. Rendezvous with Y'shtola when you arrive. She and Thancred have already begun a preliminary investigation. I have every confidence that the three of you will get to the bottom of these thefts. I only hope our fears prove unfounded when you do. Going on a mystery hunt. Turning up the desktop audio just a little bit. Let me know if I need to tweak the game audio out more. How's everybody doing? Warm, very warm. Ah, right, I forgot you guys are having a bit of a hot spell without air conditioning. Ah, Elio, your assistance is most welcome. I've already spoken at length with the brass blades of the Rose, albeit to little avail. It would seem that the thieves took great pains to conceal their activities. I could go into further detail, but your time might be better spent in conversation with Fufulupa. He is the officer charged with leading the investigation, and I would only be repeating that which he related to me. If aught eluded my attention, mayhap it will not elude yours. It's storming here. Nice! Oh, I wish it was storming here, too. It's Fufulupa! Fufulupa. If you started in Ul'dah, you may be familiar with him.
Well, hello there, Elio. Was it Y'shtola said to expect you? Terrible business, these thefts. We have yet to confirm the quantity of crystals stolen, but I dare say it may be greater than... But never mind that. I have news to share. A short while ago, the driver of the heavily laden carriage refused to halt for inspection and broke through one of our checkpoints on the Royal Allegan Sunway. The car bolted off toward eastern Hydaelyn, where, thank the gods, I hear that our colleagues were able to apprehend them without further incident.
A speeding carriage. That would seem a curious choice for thieves of such proven cunning. Yet the Amalja do not have a foothold in eastern Hydaelyn. And what of their cargo? Do they carry the crystals we seek?
We should be receiving a report any moment now, but I failed to see what else it could.
Did you miss me, friends? I'm back, but I fear I've come bearing disappointing news. Or on second thought, perhaps it's good news after all. Thancred, where have you been off to? I figured you have everything under control here, so I took a brief excursion to the east to check up on our Amalja friends. And wouldn't you believe it, I happened upon a runaway carriage on the way, and even was able to do my small part to help my friends of the Brass Blades intercept it. In all my years, I've never seen such a prodigious quantity of sumnus. The Blades were calling it one of the greatest hauls they'd ever seen. The stolen crystals, on the other hand, were nowhere to be found.
Is that so? Alas, I suppose we have no choice but to resume our search elsewhere.
We should reassess our options as well. Come with us, Elio.
Swoop, good to see you, glad to have you.
Been alright here, tired and a little stressed. Going on a trip last week, I'm going to miss Midwest heat wave coming up. I won't miss that. Yeah, I feel you, Deathberry. I don't know what happened, but when I was like unconscious with COVID, I was doing pretty okay, and I was kind of just out of it completely. But the past couple days, I've had so many anxiety attacks. It's been wild, and my brain's still loopy, and yeah, still having a go of it. But yeah, trying to get back in the flow of things, and luckily it's pretty cool here right now, even though we've got a heat wave that's definitely coming up. It's quiet at the moment, but it's been raining off and on since last night. Oh God, I love rain. Yeah, we need the rain so bad. Yeah, send all the rain to Phoenix if you could. Yeah, just blow the clouds over. Against all expectations, it would seem that the Amalja are innocent of this particular spat of crimes. By all indications, they have yet to replenish the stores of crystals exhausted during the last attempt to summon Ifrit. What I can't fathom is why anyone else would go to such lengths to obtain crystals, and in such quantities. It cannot be that we are dealing with simple thieves. If their motives were profit, why would they limit their trade to crystals alone? Plainly, we're missing something. While you think about what it might be, I shall inform Eorzean of our progress, or lack thereof.
Oof, woof, woof. Now then.
Voice acting!
'Tis I. The situation may be more complicated than we anticipated.
Indeed, I shall remain watchful. Ere thou goest, another matter requireth thine attention. A young maiden, full eager to...
Eorzean's and
Wherefore
Thancred's were
inquirest thou
okay.
of her fairness?
Well, Eorzean's was really good, because it's
Very
popular.
well. Be she damsel or devil, I shall direct her steps to Revenant's Toll. Save thine insinuations for one given to such impropriety. Thou shalt not find me amenable.
Here she comes. The lady in purple.
Far across the sea from the land of Domar have we traveled. We seek audience with the ruler of these lands. Who here speaks for you?
Interesting. Now that I think about it, the fact that they ended up in Vesper Bay, I wonder, did Yugiri sail across the Glass Ocean instead of sailing across like the bounty, the Sea of Ashes. Huh. I mean, there's no reason that she couldn't have still sailed from Othard to Vilbrand, or to, I guess not Vilbrand, Aldenard, by going here. Why don't I pull up a map to explain what the fuck I'm talking about? So if you look at the world map, Yugiri has ended up right here on the western coast of Hydaelyn. But we know that she left from Othard here. We know that when we sail from Lenosia across the Drown, the Bounty, and end up here. Well, we end up here in Kugane first, in Hingashi. And I'm sure that we actually probably get this more specifically, or one of you is already commenting on it, but it's interesting because you could also... No, obviously she didn't go across the Glass Ocean because she would have gone across the New World, so that wouldn't have made any sense. Because there's no way she stopped off in the New World. It would have been talked about. So she definitely sailed the normal way. Elio, get yourself some catnip tea. It works excellent for that. I promise you, I got anxiety. It works calm me down. Yeah, sadly, that doesn't work very well for me. Not a lot of physiological things work particularly well, mostly because it's thought ideation and spirals. There's a lot. I've worked with a lot of medication and other practical things, but I've tried catnip tea, and sadly, that was not too much. But I appreciate the thought. Sad about the VC for yes, very yeah. The original Yugiri voice actress. What happened to her voice actress is very, very sad. Razat Han. Yeah, so she would have, like, she may have stopped off at Razat Han, but she basically, she would have had to have gone from Othard down through the Bounty and maybe probably skipped over the Drown. Well, I guess you kind of can't skip over the Drown. You kind of have to, like, fly by. I mean, you're either going to at least go by the Sea of Jade here, and then Sea of Ash, and then you're going to go into here. Gonna end up in the Rotano. But the thing is that if she, because I was thinking like, oh, she could go, you know, east across the Glass Ocean, but the thing is that the New World is here as a giant barrier. And it seems like not a lot of people seem to sail across, like we don't get a lot about Hingashi engaging with the New World at all either, as of yet. Maybe we'll find out they actually do, because I mean we only spend time in Kugane, we don't actually get to go to Koshu and like Hingashi proper, and so because of that I wonder if it's just not super common for people to sail eastward across the Glass Ocean for whatever reason, be it for storms or any other kind of reason. Yeah, no, but I appreciate the idea, D, and I appreciate the advice. Out of loop, what happened to the VA? If you, so she and her child were murdered, basically, and I would recommend looking up the further, deeper story. I'd rather not like go into the more macabre details of it here, but it is a very dark situation. But clearly the world is flat, Kapakul. Mare Lamentorum would disagree. You're looking better today. Awesome, thanks, Koshak. Good to see you. Glad to have you, by the way. Yeah, I'm still not feeling, I'm feeling like physiologically better. I'm having major brain fog still, but it'll be just fine. I appreciate having you guys here. It is a lot more helpful to have you guys here in an audience to perform to and engage with, because if I was just doing this with like solo or only one or two people, it's like hard to maintain the energy, but with you guys engaging and interacting and stuff, it's like, I can ride that wave and that energy. So thank you for being here. Any bright ideas? A solitary flash of insight? No. Well then, I want for a better suggestion. I say we try picking up Fufulupa's brain. Try picking Fufulupa's brain again. Who knows, if we work together, we may find something of use nestled away within it. I love Fufulupa. That's a good name too. Extrovert power. You know what's interesting? Like I'm someone who runs out of spoons very easily, and I'm like an extrovert, but I'm also I get very socially anxious. So like especially if like invited to join other discords or like working with people who I don't know very well or all sorts of stuff, I can get overwhelmed pretty easily. So it's like and I run out of spoons fast, but at the same time I am someone who loves to perform. So it's this weird back and forth of, you know, is it ENFP, INFP, all that jazz.
Oh, but it's good to see you return. I have given some thought to the matter, and I have just hit upon a most disturbing possibility. How could I have been so blind?
Calm yourself, Fufulupa. What is the disturbing possibility of which you speak?
I was contemplating as how these activities escaped our notice for so long, and then it came to me. What if there's someone amongst our own ranks conspiring with them? A traitor in our own midst?
It would be most unfortunate if your fears proved well-founded, Fufulupa. Indeed, if for those reasons of security, the concern decided to transfer the remaining crystals stored in Horizon to another location, their plans would be discovered the moment the brass blades were informed. Ah, but such a shipment would surely be well guarded, with the thieves as widely as ours risk open confrontation. Mayhap not, but neither would the concerned be eager to present them with such an obvious target. Nay, they might instead elect to carry out the transfer in secret, to entrust the goods to, let us say, a lone Mikote miner, traveling without escort, so as to not attract undue attention.
But who? Ah, I see. Yes, the concern may well elect to do that, but to travel with so much cargo would be a strenuous task indeed, and this miner would certainly need to rest upon the way. Mayhap north to the bridge to Hammerlea.
A fine spot for a rest. Would you not agree, Elio? You lie in wait to the north, and I shall do the same to the south.
Ahem! Forgive me, my friends, but I have received new orders. I must inform my men at once.
Question, can you change the membership colors? Because if you make it purple, I'd do it in a heartbeat. I don't know. I don't know if I can change it. If someone can find out, I'd love to. Same, first impressions are the worst for me. Yeah, Swoop, Ben, man, I feel for you, I do. Well, and it doesn't help, too, with our family, with the social butterflies that some of our family are. Yeah, yeah, same. Yeah, I think a lot of you guys can probably relate. Call me a cynic, but I would be surprised if these thieves lay down their arms and surrender. See that you can come prepared to offer them some encouragement. I'm sure none of my mods know what that's like either. I'm sure all of them are happy, extroverted social butterflies. Ray Ray's gonna kill me. But yeah, purple, I'm unaware if you can change it, but I can look into it. I'm usually quiet, but if I do talk, I assume I'm saying something stupid or dumb. See, I have the hubris to assume that what I'm saying is actually usually of some worth. Not that it's like the most important thing in the room, but just that I don't have at least that aspect of it. But I know a lot of people in my life who do struggle with that feeling, so I feel my empathy. Oh. Oh. Wow, that was funny. I don't know why I accidentally clicked on the level sync for the Fate, but that went poorly. Turns out you don't want to be level 15 when you're doing a level 50 quest. Kill you, not all at once. Ray beats me if I don't say like, share, and subscribe regularly. Thanks, Tethys. Okay, this time for real. Imagine if that happened, you're just like, well, nope, the Warrior of Light's done. The Warrior of Light died. Game over. Okay, I'm gonna have to plug my mouse back in. Jeremy, good to see you, glad to have you. Hope you're well. I'm new to Final Fantasy 14 and have been learning a lot about the lore. There's a lot more going on than I initially realized. Awesome, yeah, I hope our content continues to help you. There is a metric crap ton of depth to this game, even on the superficial level. And then when you go to the strata beneath that, the like second, third, fourth, and fifth layers of the lore and the nuanced storytelling and information going on, there's so much. There's a reason that there can be multiple channels devoted to this game talking about its lore. And still, we haven't covered everything. But I hope it continues to be helpful for you, Jeremy. Have you not been reading my warnings, Elio? People say the meanest things about me. I can't imagine what. Here, I gotta my mouse macros aren't working, so I gotta replug it in. Bum, bum, bum. Okie doke. Oh, okay, still not. Oh, you know what I bet it is? Logitech. I bet if I actually turn it may have been because I had to like restart the computer. Set that over here so you guys don't have to bother seeing it. There we go. Yeah, fixed it. Might want to watch the shirt next time, wink wink. What? Go, like, are you sure I'm gonna be afraid I'm gonna show you completed? You're gonna like, I could just do this the whole stream. I could just like, you know, like, I could also roll it up. Like, how you want it, Koshak? I've hardly murdered anyone this week. Oh my god. I did not have any recollection of you stolen that outfit. That is adorable on her. That is really fucking cute. Yeah. What, you don't want to see down? Okay, whatever. Stubborn to the last as expected. You are unharmed? I feel like that would be like if you wanted to do like if you wanted to do a Final Fantasy XIV cosplay that was like really good and also really, really, really niche. Doing Y'shtola in the mining outfit would be like a great one. Like to do like if you wanted to go at a con to be like someone trying to figure out like, wait, what? A gang of sea-wolf thieves and in Hydaelyn, no less. I suppose there's a first time for everything. Sea-wolves, all of them. Aye, and all with the same taste in facial tattoos. Blue, in case you were wondering. Serpent Reavers! Our thieves are a long way from home. Jolly! Good to see you, glad to have you. Thancred, if you would be so good as to attend to our outstanding matters in Horizon, I have inquiries to make. To Horizon, then. Fufu Lupa will want to hear about your meeting with the thieves. We need one of those workplace injury signs for when Ray Ray is to murder someone. It's been 0 days since Ray Ray incidents. That can be arranged. That can be arranged. That would be a great t-shirt. Just like, it's just that sign, but days since Ray Ray murdered someone. Elio's shirt is practice for the upcoming Only Archon stream. Gotta raise the funds for going to FanFest somehow. You know? Oh, speaking of, new funding goal is for cosplay streams. So you guys get to decide what the cosplay is if you raise the money. You want to do it something funny? You guys want to get me a Sailor Scout outfit? The money goes towards that. You guys want me to get something serious like an Eorzean outfit? It can go towards that. It's all up to you guys. You guys want me to get a professional version of Elio's outfit made? I will gladly do that. Sir, stop. I have to be good. Then you came to the wrong stream. Ray Ray's already done. Yeah, it's not like I've ever done that cosplay. Really, Ray Ray? Jeez. Any mention of niche cosplay in Final Fantasy XIV, you should just go ahead and mention Ray Ray on principle. It's true. I also meant in real life. I'm too gay for this hides and corner. Obviously, Elliot. Emmett. Ooh, I'd love to do Emmett Selk. Oh. But there were those who stood in defiance of that fate. That's not like a fun of a cosplay. In before chat funding collegiate outfit. What? What? Also, yeah, Emmett would be fun. Solace. I could actually sew most of that. I could go 3D print a Garlean eye right now. I know how to do the finish on that. Yeah, I can make that work. And I could definitely do a build-up layer to make it actually like... Well, also, Solus's actually doesn't look like it's embedded. It looks much more like it just sits on. The sleeper has awakened. Hey, Demins, good to see you. Glad to have you. Oh, no, that was... Oh, I thought I had it down. Now standing though, it's weird to do like, it's because it's the brush off. There we go. Well, collegiate has to do with school, so that. Do you mean like the sleeper? Chat funding collegiate outfit. The collegiate outfit in 14? Are you talking about this? Oh, that. Oh, that one. Yeah, I guess that's so simple though. That's boring. Oh, Tethys, don't do that. You're too straight to pull off them. Don't play me like that.
On behalf of the Brass Blades of the Rose, I thank you for your service to Horizon. But we have not been idle. While you were afield, we succeeded in identifying the traitor within our ranks.
Is that so? Then by your leave, I should very much like to have a word with the fellow in private.
No, I'm afraid that will not be possible. Regrettably, he, managed to subdue the unit of Blades dispatched to detain him and made good his escape.
Oh, for the love of... And how did he manage that exactly? Your men haven't been sampling the somnus we confiscated, have they? Or was he a giant in disguise?
No, but he was quite strong. A sea wolf, Limsa born and raised, I believe. But do not worry. We will find him. You have my word on that.
I see. Pray, keep me appraised of any developments. Yes, he's standing next to me. Understood. I fear our time together is at an end, my friend. Your services are required elsewhere. Awfully disappointing, I know, but one must follow where duty leads. You might try to look a little disappointed. Or do you mean to give me another one of your stoic nods? You do, don't you? Hey, Serene! Good to see you, glad to have you. Look, just because I don't physically find men attractive doesn't mean I don't find men romantically attractive. And as far as we know, that's the same with Emmett. Well, okay, hey, we know Emmett's a bi icon, though. We know he had children. And he specifically says he's laid with our kind. So I argue that he is, in fact, not a gay icon, but a bi icon. Boom. I believe Shadowbringers would like to argue with you, Koshek. I believe, a certain Hrothgar might argue with you on that. The antecedent bid me tell you to make for Vespa's Bay, where young Alphino awaits your coming most eagerly. It was he who requested your assistance. Some commotion or incident, I am not privy to the details. While you do whatever it is that Alphino had planned for you, I shall endeavor to track down our traitorous brass blades, and when I do, you may rest assured that we will have our answers. Bye, God. So I do with a Dom, she makes me reconsider my sexuality. Look, I don't care what your sexuality is. You can't not, like, have Sadu be doing what Sadu does and not going a little bit like, okay. Like, cause I am hard. Dude. I'll end that there. Bi-romantic. Yeah! Woo! By the power of bi-romance, baby. It's funny how often people get confused with that. Although I'm often still baffled. Every time I find out again that there are people who are weird about people being bi or like just don't get it, is still to this day just so weird to me. It's like, what's confusing about it? Okay, so you know how like some people like vanilla, You know how like some people like chocolate, yeah. Well, what if someone liked chocolate and vanilla? No, that's impossible. What do you mean it's impossible? You like chocolate and vanilla. I know, but it just can't happen. But, okay, well, whatever. Yeah, Bioerasure is not only gross, it's just weird. Like, it's genuinely, to me, weird. Because it's like, it's not complicated, it's not hard. It's not this, like, nuanced, like, really different. It's, like, literally just like, yeah. It's like, okay, some people like Coke and Pepsi. Why is this? And some people like Coke and Pepsi, but they like Coke more than they like Pepsi. Well, but they're drinking Coke right now. Yeah, so they only like Coke. Well, no, they're just drinking Coke right now. Right, but they're not drinking Pepsi currently. Yes. So they don't like Pepsi. No. It's so weird. It's so weird that it's hard for people to understand. You're late. No matter. I know where our visitors are headed. From what I've been able to gather, the vessel belongs to a band of Domans who seek an audience with the Sultana. You're familiar with Doma, yes? In Othar? Well, like the rest of the nations of the Eastern Continent, it is ruled by the Garlean Empire. Given our visitors' unannounced arrival, as well as the state of their ship, I suspect they did not leave their homeland under the best circumstances. Needless to say, it should be very interested to hear their tale. And more importantly, what they know of the current state of affairs in the Empire. Such information could prove most useful.
Oh, lady, thank you for the $2.
We would be fools not to pursue the opportunity. Do you not think? Come with me to Ul'dah, Elio. Unless I am mistaken, and I rarely am mistaken, bullshit, we will find the Domans bickering with the Sultana Sworn in the Royal Promenade. You are uncertain of your role in the proceedings. Insurance. If our guests are not themselves Imperial agents, it seems fair to assume that they may be being pursued by some, and if not, who better than you to have on hand in the event of an unforeseen diplomatic incident? Besides, I do so enjoy sparkling repartee. Satisfied? Good. I shall see you in Ul'dah. Be cursed, drink pill. Also, hi, lovely people. Drink pilk? What? My theories.
Tattle. I'm gonna keep that one hidden, mostly just because of spoilers for, Endwalker, not because of the content of what you were talking about.
Magnite can't find his Nama because Sadu stole all of them. True, Angie. True. Hey, Aurora, good to see you. Glad to have you. I have no idea what I am, and that's perfectly fine. You know what? If you're happy and you don't know, then that's fine. You can just be whatever you are if you're happy. That's the point, right? If it matters to you to have it very clearly defined to yourself and have a very clear understanding of it, then it's important. If it's not, and you're just like, I just do things and I'm happy with it, then you're good. It's less complicated than my straight husband. Sadu does imply to flirt with your character regardless of gender, doesn't she? Yeah, so one of the things that's important to remember, though, about Sadu is that she's of the Dothral. And because the Dothral, really, like, gender is kind of an irrelevant thing for them because, like, your body and your soul, there's even quests around the stuff of the Dothral where, like, there are people whose souls were in past lives in male bodies now in female bodies, or vice versa. They don't seem to, the Dothral as a whole don't really care about gender in any meaningful way. At least everything we get seems to suggest that. Ergo, I think it's pretty safe to assume that all of them are, if you have to assume, it's fair to assume that they're bi as a baseline, as a culture. Or even pan, really, more than bi in some ways, I guess would be a bit more fair. Just because because of their, like, disconnection and delineation between soul and body. You can't like chocolate and peanut butter at the same time. Yeah, right. Peanut butter and honey, fuck that jelly shit. I don't like jelly either. I've never liked jelly. Other than Jelly Bean. I like you, Jelly Bean. You're great. But I like Jelly Bean, so I guess that's not jelly. Why am I running in a circle? Pilk is a mix of Pepsi and milk. Ah!
Thank you, Justinian, for using the new emote. Why? Why would you do that to me? Eorzean knows what's what. Now I want a peanut butter and fluff sandwich. Going to put that in grocery list. Thanks, Eorzean. Liquid marshmallow. Marshmallow fluff. It's a marshmallow spread. Based. What do you mean, what? You joked about putting Pepsi and milk together. That's the most disgusting thing I've ever heard of. Like, let's put tuna fish and Jolly Ranchers together. Why don't we? At the same time. Northeast thing. Imagine like melted marshmallow that you spread on bread for sandwiches. You know, it's interesting. It is in the Midwest too. But it is, yeah. But yeah, it is it's a very known implement. Entire tribal nation made entirely of battle buys. Let's go. I mean, yeah, that is the Dothral. That, like, pretty much. If you look into their lore and you do all their quests and stuff, that is pretty much them. My headcanon is that the majority of people in FF in the universe are bi. Okay. Richer, as usual. Do not let do not let me detract from your enjoyment. I would argue that what we seem to get does not necessarily support that, though that there is a large and also the fact that there is insinuations against that there is especially in Eorzea, that there are taboos against same-sex relationships. At least there were. Makes me think that the majority are bi is unlikely, though there is a plethora of characters that we meet who are in the wider world, as well as some that are easily arguable within the Scions, including, based on your dialogue options, you could argue for Alice, Grahatia. Depending on your dialogue options, you could argue Yugiri. But yeah. Also, I barely ate any marshmallows in my life, so I can't really imagine it melted. Marshmallows give me headaches, so I actually can't eat marshmallows. The only marshmallows I can eat are the tiny ones that go in hot cocoa. They retconned a trans NPC. I don't know which NPC you're talking about, Koshek, though. And I'd be curious to see if they retconned it or if there was a mistranslation, because I think that's also very different. So you might know this, who is canonically in love with the Warrior of Light besides Sir Aymeric, Alice, and Horsefont. Sir Aymeric isn't canonically in love with the Warrior of Light. Canonically, Sir Aymeric is there's things to suggest that Sir Aymeric really. The Warrior of Light is one of the few people that he feels like he can trust because that's a similar person who understands the mantle of responsibility. But there is no clear indication that Sir Aymeric is in love with the Warrior of Light to any meaningful amount. The characters that you can easily, almost textually argue, depending on your dialogue options, are Yugiri. If he picks very specific dialogue options, which is interesting because we all know she wants Hien, but she has some interesting dialogue things that like become very explicit. As well as Grahatia, which again is more inference than everything, but yeah. If you can find fluff, I highly recommend it. Yeah. Zoe Core, the entire quest referred to a male bonded NPC as she. That may have been just right, but if they changed that may not have been a retcon. That may have been it was always intent. I should go look at the original Japanese, and it may have been an issue. So like, especially depending on when that character was created, a thing that happened early on during 1.0 or during like 2.0 and stuff is accidentally, a lot of characters were misgendered just because the Japanese didn't denote the gender, but the English needed to, and the wrong body was communicated or something. So that may not have been a retcon so much as just an always intentional accident. That was just fixed. Now I crave sweet things. I need to save money for luggage and checkout. Yes, lady, get your luggage. Get your luggage first. He respects the word. Yeah, he clearly was a typo or what? Yeah, clearly wasn't a typo or whatever. Well, based on what though?
I love freedom to interpret this game. Okay, he had to take a phone call, but by too straight, I should have said too straight laced. Sexuality has nothing to do with it, just like bad Elvis cosplayers. Too straight laced? You've seen me on Sundays. Oh, chat, what food are we gonna have to mention to make him hungry today? Oh, God. Oh, yeah, Graha makes sense. Yeah, the thing about Graha, too, is that, like, you have room to be able to, like, look at it. Also, Koshek, I don't know the thing didn't need to be fixed. Wait, so here, okay, so Koshek, let me try to support you here where I can. If your desire is that you want more trans representation in the game and that they haven't necessarily succeeded on that, I'm super with you. And I think we can definitely push for that. And I wouldn't be surprised that we do see that over time. I really wouldn't be surprised to see that becomes, we get characters like that at some point. But I just want to be very careful that I don't think it's fair to treat them as if they're like retconning and going against, like, they're like, oh, this was trans representation? No, we gotta change that. That to me is very different than, oh, we accidentally mistook this character, we actually messed up this character's thing. Let's fix that. And not realizing that someone would latch onto it thinking that that was what happened. The same way that we see some characters who have names, like I think there's like some Dunesfolk who are male who have female Dunesfolk names that I know for a fact are stated as were an accident. Not as an intentional. Now, I totally understand wanting more representation. So it's not that I don't disagree with that. I want to be very careful to not criticize them when I don't think that it's warranted there. Yes, new stream goal for cosplay stream. You guys get to decide what it is once you fill it out. Don't worry, I never spend much unless it's something I really need. Food can always wait. Well, you spend money on me, so. It didn't exactly matter because even the rep existed, people wouldn't complain. Even if the rep existed, people would complain. Doesn't exactly matter. I do love the fake creatures and Shadowbringers, all they use they, them pronouns. Yeah, that's the other thing is the fairies, the pixies explicitly are agender. Either Koji or Kate, I think it was Kate, specifically stated that they are all agender. There's certain flippancy that Emmett has that I doubt any of us in community, maybe Issa, could pull off. Oh, Tethys, you've never seen me actually try to act. But maybe you're right. Well, I got cheap stuff there, I'll be fine. Nail was always a girl. Yes, Nail was always a girl. I will not comment that, but Elio, I stand with my point. Okay. It matters not how many times times you ask. Without the necessary permissions, none shall pass. Ooh, what voice should you get to use? Pray, understand, good sir. We have not the leisure to lodge a formal petition. Time is of the essence. All I ask is that you summon your superior. Allow me to plead my case. Surely you can grant us that small kindness. Away with you, and darken these doors no longer. I will not ask again. You know not what you do. Tracy, good to see you, glad to have you. Yeah, and Tethys, I don't think I welcome the challenge. I also do not think like you're casting aspersions on me. No, I appreciate the sentiment of like wanting it to be done right if it's gonna be done. So, but I just think maybe you are right. I think there's a chance I could still pull it off. But we'll see, because who I cosplay is all up to you guys. I could get an Elio cosplay. I could get, you know, we'll get a cosplay based on whatever you guys decide. We could just get a Sailor Moon cosplay. I gather your pleas fell upon deaf ears. A loyal man with a cold heart. I know his kind well. I hope you will find me more to your liking. Alfino Levio at your service, a friend. Which I believe makes me very nearly unique in this part of the world. At least, few indeed are your allies in Uldar, yet you will need some if you wish to endear yourself to the wealthy and powerful. Pray, join me and my associates at the quicksands. There you may explain your situation to us, and we shall see if there is aught we can do to help. For comedic purposes, I suggest Hildebrand. Hey! Hildebrand here, ready to get the game going. Oh, fuck. No, that's gonna... No. Pre-humbling Alpha. Yeah, yes. Pre-humbling Alfie. Honestly, the amount of, like, bi, gay, agender representation that exists in this game, especially for Japanese developers, is, and not, let me put that, not just representation, but not bad representation, is, pretty surprising to me. I mean, lest we remember Catherine. For comedic purposes, I suggest not shooting. I could make some giant bombs. Full ad Kiriga cost. I don't know who that is. I gotta pull that up. Ah! Oh my god. Oh god, that'd be such a pain in the ass. Off Horsefont JP voice. Yeah, there you go. See, like you even got Sekuhara. So like, okay, here's the thing I'll say about the JP Horsefont though, is that it is problematic, deeply to me. Like, but it is the cultural context of it makes it far less Sekuhara than it would be in English. That said, it literally is enough that I don't like JP Horsefont as a character. Like, it actively assassinates that character for me. And now we're all on a list. When it comes to fan voice acting, this guy gets pretty close to Emmett. Please don't share links. We try to avoid sharing links to other stuff. Power, good to see you, glad to have you. Right, because the creepy chivalrous knight in trope anime. Yeah, and it's also more than that. Just like the like horny bastard trope is more accepted.
We have traveled some several thousand miles across the sea from the nation of Doma, in hopes that we might find sanctuary in these lands.
Sanctuary, Lady Yugiri?
Aye. Lying within Othard, Doma was under the dominion of the Garlean Empire, as I'm sure you are aware. When the War of Succession broke out in Garlemald, we espied an opportunity to free ourselves from the yoke of imperial oppression and took up arms. Only to be crushed. And so I gathered what few Domans escaped the reckoning and guided them hither to your shores.
A war of succession? Then the Emperor... Forgive me. You said that Doma was under Imperial rule, did you not?
Doma is gone. Razed to the ground as an example to the other provinces.
So I've had this discussion with some other people. A bunch of people are like, well, Doma's still there, the castle's still there and stuff. If you guys go to Othard, and you go to Yangsha, you look at where the city was. The city of Doma, like the main city region, was razed and was mainly destroyed. The moon gates were deeply damaged. The castle only stands because it was the Imperial Bastion. Only the like surrounding towns of like Inari? But anyways, still Sam. So like, no, Doma, like its actual city proper was raised. Worth pointing out. Yeah, old Alfie voice. Yep. Yukiri describes Mikoto because they didn't have Elrond game yet. Yeah. I don't know who described them as Mikote, but
12 have mercy. And your people.
On a ship anchored in Vesper Bay, flying borrowed colors. Many were complicit in the rebellion, or akin to those who were. They will not come ashore until I send word that it is safe to do so. I sought an audience with your rulers, but was summarily refused.
The lords of Ul'dah are not wont to entertain foreign refugees without suitable encouragement.
Mayhap I was foolish to expect otherwise, but our supplies run low and we have young ones in urgent need of care. I have seen the tents outside the gates, however. We are not the first to seek asylum, nor will we be the last.
Be that as it may, Ul'dah is no friend to Garlemald. Your tale would stir the hearts of many men and women here. The Sultana and the Syndicate will not be so easily swayed, but I shall see that you are granted an opportunity to plead your case.
This is within your power?
I would like to point out this is setting up for Stormblood. Like, it's very easy to like forget that 14 doesn't just set up, we're not setting up the next expansion and this expansion. So for instance, they set up Stormblood and Heaven's Word throughout A Realm Reborn and 2.x. They set up Shadowbringers as well as Stormblood in 3.x. They set up Endwalker as well as Shadowbringers. Like, they're always thinking like 2 steps ahead.
Well, far be it from me to boast, but I do have the ear of certain influential individuals.
I would also suggest that if you look towards 5.x, there's some pretty heavy setup for the next future expansion, 2 expansions, I would suspect.
I am in your debt.
Lady Yugiri, forgive me for observing, but your choice of attire seems like to evoke feelings of mistrust.
Men are wont to fear the unfamiliar. We know this from experience. We seek only to spare the people of Ul'dah unnecessary disquiet.
I shall defer to your experience, then.
I thank you for your understanding.
It seems I have urgent business with the Flame General. I leave our guests in your capable hands.
Demins, thanks you for $10. Also, Tomfix cosplay, let's go! You know, I like post-AR quest less because it feels like forever till you get to Heaven's Word, but maybe that's just me. You know, I actually feel the opposite. I really, really love 2.x because for me, that's when a lot of really actual good intrigue is going on and a lot of like good narrative build-up, and there starts to be more voice acting in a lot of things after 2.1. So, and there's I think a lot more characters that I like engage with. Like you've got the beginning of Ysayle, you've got, Rubrida, you've got even the Scions are kind of like coming into their own. So for me, I like 2.x way more than I like Realm Reborn. Like 2.x is even, I think 2.x is better than Aggressively Fine the way I describe Realm Reborn. But that's just me. But it seems that Tracy agrees with you, lady. Tormfax! Playing it all raw, that statement about why she's hiding her face was so weird. Yeah, I mean, at the time it would have been, at the time it would have made sense. Now it's like, That said, you also, in theory, you could be an Elrond, you could have faced prejudice, and so, like, her point may still stand. You feel more established, to be honest. Yeah, and 2.x swoop. Yeah, totally agree. Elvin, good to see you. Glad to have you. 2.x is when it really kicks off for me. Yeah, same Elvin. That's how I feel about it as well. 2.0 has to do so much fucking setup that it's very boilerplate for me. But 2. You get to start to get into the nitty gritty and the weird and the niche and the nuance. I like it a bit more than when Moon appears, I think, and when we do all the Shiva stuff. Yeah, it's like 2.4, right? Maybe 2.3? 2.4, I think. You have Horsefount. Yes. Only because I'm putting in alts through 2.x right now. Yeah, and I guess the thing is, like, I love Heavensward, but the thing is, the road to getting to Heavensward is so good. For me, is so good, and is so important to making Heavensward good. Like, 2.x is matters so much, is a prologue to Heavensward is so important. I don't feel like, oh, I would need to just get to Heavensward. I feel like, I'm on the ride to Heavensward, baby! Okay, Kikyo, what do you gotta say? Lady Yugiri labors day and night for the good of our people. She's an inspiration to us all, yet I worry for her health. Kasasagi. We are grateful beyond measure for this kindness. Need context. Yeah, totally. Only because I'm putting, yeah. I think 2.x is rather sloppy. Really? I think 2.x is incredibly tight. 2.x is, in my opinion, incredibly tight, incredibly well constructed for being this brilliant. You don't know where it's going. It's setting up all these key important elements that are tying into each other, and you think like, okay, is it the focus is on Iceheart, its direction? What's this thing going on in the backwards? Crystal Braves is building. Where is this leading? And then it has its final twist and reveal. So to me, it's the opposite of sloppy. I think it is incredibly well constructed. Oh no, my old ass Wacom tablet is glitching again. Sad opossum noises. No! Maybe I should sell you my Wacom lady. Not my actual opinion. I just wanted to make the joke. Okay, to this. If I may, sir, as I said earlier, we have been at sea for several moons, and our supplies are all but spent. I have not the heart to repeat the tales of our tribulations, nor would it please you to listen to them, I think. Suffice it to say, however, sacrifices have been made. Though it shames me to beg for more when you have already offered so much, desperation compels me. Gentle sir, if you or your associates could spare any provisions, anything at all, I would go a long way to lessen the suffering of my people. It sets up Heavensward and Stormblood. Yeah! It sets up Heavensward and Stormblood incredibly well, as we were saying earlier. But just in terms of, like, specifically leading into Heavensward. XP, pen is a gold altar. It would have been nice if I had been allowed Moonbreed to exist more than 2. I think I'm not here's the thing. I'm usually not that interested in the conversation about letting whether or not Moonbreed should survive longer, mostly because I find it more moving. I find it very moving that the character did something that was within character and of the utmost importance. And that works for me, and that's enough. And it could have been different, but I don't know that that necessarily would have just been straight better. And the way that it is paid off for me as the story goes along is so powerful, so resonant, and so beautiful that I just have no need for it to be different. But yeah, also be careful of spoilers. Ah, hells. Why didn't you say so sooner, Elio? Of course I'll help. You couldn't have picked a better time to tell the truth. A wealthy merchant and his entourage were due to have a banquet here on the morrow, see? But just sent word that they can't come, meaning I've got a boatload of foodstuffs and no one to feed. Best of all, they paid for a lot in advance. Ha ha! Go on and call Foodalith, Catherine at the Sapphire Avenue Exchange. Tell them I said ship the little prince's order to the Wakened Sands. Oh, and if they argue, just show them those letters. That should set them straight. Well, the Tempest finally dropped beneath 30C. Nice, Tracy! Good. I'm more compelled by a character who is written incredibly well and does those things that are true to them, more so than I am just having people linger. Which I know it's not a fair generalization, because that's to say nothing of maybe longer to at least somewhat longer would have been better, but at the same time, yeah. Yeah, Momodi in the post-movie quest for her is so cute. That here gentleman who wants her affections is just like, nah.
She's in the business of feeding refugees now. I ain't normally one to question Mistress Momodi's judgment, but that doesn't seem wise to me.
Bitch, give me the food.
I'll not speak for the children, but if you ask me, any man what can't earn a crest deserves to go hungry.
Your kindness does you credit, sir.
My, that's a rather odd request. Mayhap you misheard her instructions?
Bitch, give me the food.
You know, you shouldn't encourage them like this. They'll start to expect it. You mark my words. They didn't give you any trouble, did they? Good. Now go in and tell Lady Ugiri it's all in hand. I dare not hope for such magnanimity. Much less expect it. Mistress Momodi is generous indeed. I shall be sure to thank her most humbly.
We'll have a random admin request for you momentarily, Elio. Thank you! I'll make sure to check my Discords in a moment. Anyone got a random lore question? I want to answer a lore question. It's been a long time since I've answered a lore question.
Lady Ugiri, I briefed the Flame General on your situation. I think you will be pleased with his reply.
It'll be in game. Oh, okay.
We have been granted an audience. Before the Sultan and the Syndicate both, we should return to the Royal Promenade at once. You've done much for us, Master Alphino. I swear we shall return the favor. Naught is owed, Lady Ugiri, for naught has been given. This small favor you fairly won with your words, and it is with words that you will win the favor of the Syndicate. Then I shall choose them with care. You will be accompanying us, yes? Good. Your presence may serve to remind the Syndicate of the true meaning of philanthropy, and nothing so unpalatable required of them, assuming the Domans are willing to earn their keep. Come to the Flame General awaits us at the Royal Promenade.
I'm in North Manchester, so it only reached 35C today. A balmy 100F. Jesus Christ. Hey, their stuff has been paid for. It's been made. It's non-refundable. People who ordered decided they didn't want it anymore. Yeah. Agreed, Power. What's with Deliverability? Like, depends on what you mean what's the deal with. Do you mean why is the Agrius in there all exploded? Do you mean what's with the large amount of Aether that broke free? Do you mean why is the Omphalos that sits above it? Why is Midgard Summer protecting this silver tier? And why is it probably because he's protecting the Omphalos? There's a bunch of questions to potentially answer about what's going on with Silver Tier Lake. And I would broadly, if you want to know specifics, I can give you some things, and then other than that, I would say go play Mists of the Realm. What would you say is your favorite bit of lore? I don't have... I'm really bad at favorites. I love a lot of things for different reasons under different contexts. So I don't know that I have a favorite piece of lore. Why is it so important? We're told it's important, but never why. Well, we know that it's something, we know Midgard Summer protects it. We know Midgard Summer protects it because there's something there. We know that the Omphalos sits above it. We don't have a very specific good idea as to what and why. We are going to learn almost certainly throughout the playing of Mists of the Realm. So I would say play Mists of the Realm, you'll finally have your answer. There was some kind of seal and or ethereal concentration housed in, beneath or around it. And that, when the Agrius exploded in Midgard Summer, when the Agrius's ceruleum tanks exploded and killed Midgard Summer, it broke and released a large amount of Aether into the world. and resulted in... Oh my god. Okay, it's hustling strip. I should just use a teleporter. I don't know why I'm not doing that. And that led to a lot of Fallout problems. Is it true that the Blue Mage's bad breath spell is just congenital halitosis? No. It's a copying of the etheric patterns of the bestial spell ability of the Vilekin that is Morble. Most enjoyable healer in your opinion? Most enjoyable for me personally is Sage. I would never argue that any of them is most objectively pleasurable because, for instance, if you like simple, White Mage is going to be more fun. But for me, Sage, no, just hands down, is by far the most pleasurable. Because it has so much skill expression and so many fun tools that are meaningful to use. So yeah, definitely Sage, no question. Also, Quack, good to see you, glad to have you. The Syndicate is broken up to the Monarist and the Royalist faction. Yes, pretty much the Monarist faction sees the making of money to be the most important thing. No. Well, I mean, sorry, yes, Monarist, yes. Yeah. How do the souls work with cloning, like Une and Doga? They have different souls, or does the cloning copy the person's souls, or are the good clones the only? So the Une and Doga were imparted a piece of their original selves' souls. They weren't given like they're not just the souls of their prior selves in totality. Une and Doga are weird in a couple of ways. Now, they're not like weird in that they break all the rules completely, but they're just a little weird. For instance, we're not entirely sure. Well, I can't mention that, spoilers. But with Une and Doga, it's said to us that can you use action finish up the yes I can, Issa. Thank you. So Une and Doga have a part of their prior selves within them that is imparted into them in their duty. They're, for lack of a better way, almost kind of like a Horcrux. It's a really bad way to look at it, but it's kind of like how it is. Do they have different souls, or does the cloning copy the person? Cloning does not copy a soul. Cloning is just the body, and then you can put a soul into the thing. The cloning is just creates a husk. Now, a clone is kind of devoid of will, but it can be imparted with will via a bunch of different methods. Are the good clones the only ones with the original souls passed on? Yeah, the good ones are the only ones that have like a part of Une and Doga. The other ones are just empty husks, which is part of why they look like they do. The other thing that's important about those other versions is that they are Amon-created test clones to try and create Xande. And that's why there's a bunch of like random clones lying around, just because Amon was running a bunch of tests to be able to recreate Xande's body perfectly and to be able to draw forth Xande's soul from the life stream. The Royalists believe that Sultana's wishes trump the making of money. Yes. Also, Lazors. Lazors indeed. Yes. Oh, and thank you, Tethys, for the video about Silver Tier. Thank you. Sultana herself is a voting member of the Syndicate, along with 8-10 wealthiest Uldan citizens. I forget what the exact number is off the top of my head. We may see. I can be able to pull it. Oh, speaking of fucking members of the Syndicate. You're a bit taller. Ooh, what's your voice? Oh, hello. I wish to greet our guests beforehand and offer my support for their cause. Domin, Uldan, it matters not to me. Birthplace does not equate to birthright in mine eyes. I take great pride in my establishment for this very reason. The Platinum Mirage, in particular, serves as a showcase for the talents of the countless men and women born beyond our borders. A pleasure, Elio. The others are already inside. Let's not keep them waiting. Leave the spud slicing until later. So these are the primary members of the Syndicate. So 3.
Ayugiri of Doma, I'm honored to meet you at last, Your Grace.
I think there's at least a couple missing though, like
to mark this auspicious occasion, I should like to present to you the finest treasures our humble nation has to offer. Alas, the circumstances which have brought me here today have divested me of both time and dignity. I come before you as a pauper in direst need of aid, to request that you grant my people asylum.
I Nanamo, 17th in the line of Ul, welcome you to our city. Be at ease, Lady Ugiri. Although I myself have heard the tale of your misfortune, I would ask that you recount it once more for the benefit of the others here present.
As you wish, Your Grace. For many years, my nation, Domar, suffered under the yoke of imperial rule, and my people yearned to be free. Thus, when a war of succession broke out in Garlemald, we sought to take advantage of the chaos and reclaim our liberty. Alas, our enemy proved less preoccupied than we had hoped, and our rebellion was put down in the most brutal fashion.
Those who survived, how many do they number?
More than 200 souls huddle within the cramped confines of our own galleon's hold. Yet this figure accounts for but one of a number of ships which escaped the purge. It is my hope that you will allow us all to dwell within your walls. Should that prove unfeasible, however, I humbly ask that you accept as many of my people as your resources allow. Pray understand, we do not beg a boon, but propose instead an arrangement. We would serve as soldiers or tradesmen until our debt is repaid.
What are the Syndicate's opinions on this matter?
I, for one, think it's a marvelous idea. Lady Ugiri and her people strike me as an industrious lot, and there are parts of the city which have yet to be fully restored. If they are willing to work, I see no reason not to let them.
The head of the Mirage Trust is not known for his generosity. He sees profit in this.
I agree. That said, these are foreign refugees. To admit them would require a formal resolution. Shall we call a vote?
The law is the law.
Lord Lolorito?
I'm checking my notes, Tattle.
Tell me,
I don't
are
see
you
anything, but I have a
blind
suspicion
or
I can give you a
willfully
guess. A good
ignorant?
guess.
Even now, our streets are choked with the displaced victims of the Calamity and Alamigan refugees. They live
It's a fair
hand
point.
to mouth, subsisting on aid provided by the immortal flames, the cost of which grows ever higher. The wealth of Ul'dah is not without limits, my friends. And need I remind you,
He's not just
that
talking about
these
law is law.
refugees
He's right.
are prone
He
to
has a
violence
very good
and
point that
criminal
they have not solved their
activity.
refugee crisis.
You have all read the reports, I think.
It's not just the law is
Without
the law.
homes
This is
or
also a
employment,
logistics are
it is
logistics,
only
and we
a
can't
matter
just
of
pretend this
time
isn't a
before
problem.
Men grow desperate and take that which they imagine has been unjustly denied them. Yet, knowing this, you would have us swell their ranks. Mayhap you think the brass blades and the flames are not hard-pressed enough?
Some say the chairman of the East Aldenard Trading Company passes Gil thrice daily. This may explain how he came to be the wealthiest man in Ul'dah. Or it may simply be that he's ruthless beyond reckoning.
I'm not sure it's not an
Surely
infinite
the Sultanate can
sum.
support the few hundred domins Lady Ugiri represents. That our resources have been taxed, I do not deny. But we are hardly in danger of financial collapse.
It's true.
I move
The problem
that
though
an
is that there's not a
exception be
long-term
made.
plan.
An exception,
The problem is that-
Your Grace? I am suddenly reminded of a similar debate some years ago regarding a number of Alamigan refugees, if memory serves. What were your words that day? Yes. The law is the law. And so our visitors remained in Little Alamigo.
So the thing is that like part of why a lot of this keeps happening is there's not a long-term plan that actually solves the problem. And so Lolorito here is not just the villain. Like again, I fuck Lolorito in general, but to stop this problem, there needs to be a long-term solution, and that actually becomes part of what the plot ends up being about. And that's why like the 4.x becomes really important, because and why we spend an entire patch dealing with logistics like that. Because it's easy to just say, ah, yes, we'll just help them, but that's a stopgap measure. It's not a solution.
Mayhap our wise and benevolent
4.2.
Sultan
I think you're right,
so
Swoop. I think you're right.
good as to enlighten us as to which other
Yeah,
of our
Elvin, I
laws
would agree with
should
that.
not
I would agree
be
with that.
upheld.
Mind your tongue, Lolorito.
My lord, I share your concern for the welfare of our great nation, but we must endeavor to take a longer view. You know as well as I that people can be a resource still more precious than gil.
Precious or not, they were never yet so reliable. And unlike those who frequent your establishment, I have no desire to gamble with my future. Uldar's greatest asset is, and has ever been, her material wealth. We risk this at our peril. One need only look to Teleji Adeleji's example for evidence of the danger in allowing sentiment to dictate policy. How far the vaunted Mirage have fallen, both in repute and profitability, since he began employing refugees.
How I choose to conduct my affairs is not your concern, my lord.
A proposal has been tabled. Given its urgency, I move we forego further debate and call a vote. To accept the Doman refugees or not. Those in favor, I bid you remain. Those opposed, I bid you leave.
Fergus
Would that it were within my power to welcome you and your people, Lady Yugiri.
Yeah, Godbert wasn't there. So like it's not always the whole syndicate meeting.
Regrettably limited. Without the consent of the syndicate, I cannot act.
It's also possible that the
understand,
masked
Your
man
Grace.
was his stand-in.
And I appreciate all that you have done on our behalf.
The nerve of the man! If that bastard had not forsaken the eastern trade route, little Alamigo would now be thriving. Oh, that you should have traveled so far under such dire circumstances, only to be refused in this manner is utterly unconscionable. Pray, accept my sincerest apologies.
Now that the Empire no longer poses an immediate threat, they see little reason to maintain the
he's a
pretense
monetarist.
of unity. The monetarists have grown especially defiant of late. Lord Lolorito most of all. But this is neither the time nor place for that discussion.
The Royalists are basically just Rauban, Nanamo, Papashan, and then that's really it. For the Syndicate, you got Lolorito, Teleji, Fergus, Lukilson, Dulala, Godbert. Yeah, so I think that the masked man that we saw was the stand-in for Godbert. I think that's why Godbert was missing. Yeah, I know he's right, but that smug potato face and smug potato voice make me hate that he's right. Yeah, I hear you, Demins. Lolorito's a villain, but he is an asshole. Yep. Nanamo plays him beautifully later, totally. And that's the thing. But that's the thing I love is that's why I find him more compelling is that he's like when he gets played, he's not like he's like, oh, okay, no, you put me in a situation which makes good business sense where you've won. but I'm winning somewhat too, and I'm fine with that. That he is an actual businessman. Now, the scruples of that can sometimes be a little, but he isn't just a villain. And that's why I think Lolorito's far more interesting. I think the only royalist in Syndicate is Rauban. Yeah, technically, Papashan as a member of the Sultana Sworn technically count as members. They're not members, but guards, the official guards. Ugh, it's like finding out seemingly cool guys are Republican. What? No. I think people are misunderstanding what the... So, I think people are equating monetarist with evil rather than monetarist with business. Now, maybe you do equate any form of capitalism with evil, in which case I'm not here to help you. I can't help you. But, no, remember that Godbert runs bit. One of the things that Godbert did was create the Gold Saucer and create an incredibly large amount of job opportunities for Alamegan refugees as a long-term solution to the problem of people not having work, people not having hope or chances or opportunity. You take away that, there isn't those same opportunities. He's not, and that's not to say like, oh, job creators can get away with anything, blah, blah, blah. I'm just saying that like, no, he's just someone, yes, who created it, who has a substantial amount of wealth, but also uses that wealth pretty appropriately. And I don't necessarily think he should be lumped in with automatically being part of a bad group just because of it. Like, the Syndicate is a tool. Whether or not the Syndicate is evil is a byproduct of how those people use those tools. Like, you have people like Teleji who are, willing to just do heinous things. You have people like Teleji and then like Lolorito. Then you have Dulala, who's more in the middle. Then you have someone like who's more like Godbert or Feargus, who are definitely business people, but way more like try to do acts of charity and good, and then Rauban is still a member of the Syndicate. Like, yes, he is on the royalist side. He's still a member of the Syndicate. And he earned his money. He earns his money from the Blood Sands, and so it's a much more nuanced and complicated situation than I think just tossing it in a left-right paradigm. Good lore question. What's the difference between monetarists and royalists? The monetarists are basically people who are out for themselves, think traditional capitalists who focus on their control over Ul'dah through wealth, specifically for their own ends, whereas the royalists support the Sultana and the throne. So you have group people like Papashan, who leads the Sultana Sworn, who make up the guard of the Sultana as well as the paladins, so there are also free paladins. You then have Rauban, who's also a member of Syndicate, who is a royalist who serves the Sultana as well. Is Papashan actually on the Syndicate? Thought he was like, no, he is not a most like Seneschal. He is. More my point was, the Sultana Sworn are intimately tied to things with the Syndicate because of their role with the Sultana. So Papashan isn't necessarily on the Syndicate, but he is also a royalist within the purview of our conversation. Perhaps it's a programming thing, but Yugiri is doing a bow and not e-bow. Not e-bow. Maybe chalk it up to her being learned in Eorzean customs. Oh, yeah. I also don't know if that emote was around at the time, but yeah, we can go with that too. Not just twirl e-mustache evil. Yeah, it's always more interesting than that. Astriel, good to see you, glad to have you. He's somewhat pretty, petty, yeah. I love Liam Isma. Prisoner 24601. Valjean, at last we see each other plain. Monsieur Lemaire, you wear a different shade. Okay, let's continue playing. As you've observed, Lolorito is not afraid to speak his mind, nor is he like to change it. Oft have I wondered how a man so skilled at weighing the worth of things should be so incapable of seeing the value in people. Bah, I will waste no words on him, not when the Domans are yet in need of aid. Everyone, follow me to the halls of flame. I got this when I saw a live performance of Les Mis a decade ago now. It must have been like 2012. So yeah, and I love the cut of this shirt. Like, not only do I love it because Les Mis, but I just like, I've always loved like baseball tee style shirts, and yeah. I need to update my wardrobe. I have, like, most of my clothes, I haven't bought new clothes in forever. Maybe someday I'll sit down and one of our funding goals will be update Elios' wardrobe. Let's focus on maybe all the more important stuff before that. I don't know why. I love this game. You have a pretty good singing voice. Oh, thanks, Deathberry. It might help if I was either prepped or not sick. It's been a long time since I've tried to do falsetto, too. I wonder if I could even do... oh my god, why am I forgetting his name? You know, God on I hear my breath. What is it? Let him be? No. What is it? Oh man, it's been so long since I've listened to Les Mis. The Syndicate has spoken, and I see no point in moving the matter. Moving that the matter be reconsidered. The monetarists have made their position clear. Agreed. Uldar is not an option. Nor are Limsa, Limsa, or Gridania. I judge given the state of our internal affairs. Which leaves our Doman friends confined to a ship. Gods, the thought of them huddled in an airless hold with no hope of better treatment. Would that I had more time to find an alternative. A place not bound by the concerns of the great nations. You're all a bunch of idiots! Just go to Mordona! Ooh, coffee. Coffee! Hey guys, what's a Pokemon trainer's favorite drink? Coffee! Minfilia, this is precisely what I wish to discuss. I understand the Syndicate's decision, I do. We will wish to preserve that which is ours, especially when we believe it to be under siege. But I cannot meekly accept this judgment, not while my people suffer. Would it be out of the question for the Sultanate to accept us for a limited time? A week, mayhap. Or even just a few days. Excellent! I shall keep you informed. Lady Yugiri, I have a proposal if you would hear it. Out with it, Master Alphino. The headquarters of my orders, the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, stand in a place called Revenant's Toll, an outpost in Mordona. Like most outposts, it is frequented by mercenaries and other men of action, and lacks the comforts of more well-established settlements. However, the leaders of Revenant's Toll have been doing their utmost to change that. To that end, they have need of an able-bodied individual willing to work as frontier hands, hard labor, lest you doubt, with naught save food and shelter by the way of reward. Terms not unlike those which you yourself proposed, Lady Yugiri. Though I will not hear a word said against our beloved Uldar, Revenant's Toll would offer certain advantages, the absence of unhelpful bureaucracies being the most obvious. If they can accommodate us, all, we shall gladly accept. Master Alphino, once again I find myself in your debt. Pray, do not thank me yet, my lady. The life of your people The life your people go to is one of hard labor and few comforts. As I told you, before that, there remains the matter of how they may safely be borne to Revenant's Toll, which will be no small feat, considering the distance and their present condition. Mayhap the Uldan Adventurers Guild can be of assistance. Look for me there anon, Elio. Sounds good to me, too. And boo, that pun was absolutely bad. Lady Yugiri, if you and your people would accompany me, we may discuss what aid the Immortal Flames can provide. Elio, when I retire, we're gonna have to do a big old debate about stuffs in 14. Okay, sounds good. I suspect some things will come down to the nature of how we deem and define and find grace in forgiveness in certain actions for some people. I would suspect that there are some things that we can articulate rather refined points on, but that may not sway either of us any particular direction, just as a byproduct of the limits to which we offer said grace. I sent you a thing with the coordinates on it. Okay. I'm gonna take a second to do that then. Oh. It just wants me to add it to autofill. When I tried doing it, it just, well, we'll do that later. When I try to do it, just go automatically try to set it to autofill. Cool. Right, I mean debate as in debate team, not change each other's mind. What? I guess for me that, to me, I don't, I guess, for me, I didn't mean necessarily that we have to change each other's mind. My point was more broadly, I don't enjoy debate that doesn't deepen an understanding. And this is saying this wouldn't happen. I'm saying that we perfectly could. This could, like, we would still get there. But like, to me, like, debate is only valuable in so much as it is a means to better understand an opposing side and your own side, and also come closer to that person, not to just staunchly fight in a purely objectivist sense. At least I just don't enjoy that much. Requirement thing for affiliate. Ah, okay. We are concerned that the Doman refugees may find the journey to Revenant's Toll too much to bear. Too long have they been sequestered aboard their ship, with insufficient supplies and scarce room enough to breathe, let alone stretch their limbs. With that in mind, Mistress Momodi has kindly offered to accommodate the Domans until such time as they're ready to set out for Mordona. Those healthy enough to travel will embark as soon as transportation has been secured, while those too weak to leave at once will be permitted to stay until they regain their strength. What news? Transportation remains our greatest obstacle. General, is there aught that the Immortal Flames can do? I fear that exceeds our mandate. Whereas a smaller number, mayhap, it would go unnoticed. But the Syndicate will not bear the cost of escorting more than 200 Domans to Mordona. When government fails to act, the responsibility falls to us private citizens. I will engage the service of the 77 caravans on the Doman's behalf. Very well, we shall begin contact negotiations at once. Your generosity is most welcome, my lord. After all that has befallen these good people, it is the least I can do. Come what may, you shall ever have a friend in Uldar, Lady Ugiri. And you in Revenant's Toll, my lord.
Well, it sounds like we all have our work to do, Lady Ugiri. Let's put our hands together and settle the details of our arrangement, shall we? I would entrust you a task of escorting our Doman friends to you. After you have rested your own road-weary legs, of course. What say you?
Ugiri's game. Actually, I'm curious. Okay, we're making decent time.
As we speak, the Domans prepare for the departure of Vesper Bay, wherefrom they will be transported by carriage to Uldar.
That said, there has been decided rather suddenly, and would not surprise me if the refugees required some assistance in coordinating their preparations. Elio, I would have you return to Vesper Bay and facilitate the process through the tasks great and small. In short, whatever must needs be done, do it. Speak with a man named Eorzean when you arrive. As Lady Yuri tells it, he has been designated the leader of the first group. Where the wild rose blooms. Get those Doman kids some horse birds. Doman kids love horse birds. It's true. I mean, don't we all? Really? Ah, it's been too long! Too goddamn long since I traveled across Eorzean. I can't wait to take to the road again! You're still a mess. Greetings. Alphino informed me that the Scions would be arriving to help with the preparations. I am honored to meet you, though shamed as well. A great warrior should not be tasked with such frivolities. I knew from a glance what manner of man you were. I too have some skill at arms, as do many of our people. Pray, forgive this trifle, but might I trouble you to help round up the children that have been given into my care? They are most adept at staying hidden from my sight, but perhaps your keen eyes will succeed where I have failed. You have my thanks, friend. Pray, seek out my son Eorzean. He can tell you more. Alright, do we have those dragon mounts in the source? I forgot what they're called in Shadowbringers. The Gwibs? The like, I mean, like, do you mean, do we get to dragon mount? Oh, Amaro? Are you talking about the Amaro? No, those are not in the source. And those aren't dragons, really. If my Chocobo is ever seen in combat, I will go full Final Days. Yeah, I was like, what are you talking about? Yeah, but if you're talking about the Amaro, no, they are not in the source. Oh, I wish I was, it was Twitch. I would clip that you're still a mess moment. I mean, you can clip that on YouTube. You can still clip that on YouTube. I don't recall any dragon mounts in the first. Yeah, I think he's talking about the Amaro.
Hello there, I'm Eorzean, son of Eorzean. Will you be coming with us to Ul'dah? I hear we're traveling by horsebird-drawn carriage. But don't you think they're queer? Giant birds that people ride like horses? I still want to try riding one, but... What's that? You're looking for the others. Don't worry, I already told them to get ready for the carriages. I'll need your help, though. We're just finishing a game of hide and seek. 3 players are still hiding, and since Lady Ugiri told us to take it really seriously, they won't have a move until they're found. But Vesper Bay isn't that big, so I bet you can't find them in no time.
Oh, my Chocobo has died in combat many times. Thankfully, Chocobos have the ability to be summoned from the Aether within a few seconds of dying. Yeah. They didn't die, Power. They're just taking a nap. They say Lolorito practically founded the reconstruction of Vesper Bay himself. That's why the town honored him with the humongous bronze statue. It's a bit much, though, don't you think? I'd wager he's much fatter and uglier, but that's just between you and me.
Hey, you're not Eorzean. Who are you? I'm Koharu. Elio Forgeron, eh? I didn't know anyone else was... Wait a minute. You're one of those, stallions, aren't you? No, scions. Scions. Well, I can be a stallion. Then you must know Lady Ugiri, right? Isn't she great? She's really good at hide and seek, too. Oh, right. It's almost time to go. Nice meeting you, Elio Forgeron.
Force snap for Chocobo. Ooh la la. Elio, no. Elio, no! Elio, yes! Chokes on coffee. Damn right I'm a stallion. Look at my magnificent mane and propensity to run from these threats, both real and imaginary. Y'all know what you're about, and y'all know what I'm about. I don't know what more you want from me. Every time they use queer in generic way, my little gay heart loves it.
Are you playing? No fair. Yosin didn't say anything about adults. Ugh, we got to ride a horse-borne carriage? I don't know. Sounds scary. But if Yosin says it's safe, I'll go.
Oh, I'm so good at hide and seek.
How'd you find me? Bah, guess I need to practice more. Or maybe you're just good at this. I mean, the Garleans didn't find me.
Dark. Hope you kids enjoy the smell of lathered chocobos. Look, it's better than the smell of sick and fecal matter on a boat for months. Wonderful. All the children are accounted. Hide and seek? Huh. I see that you are curious. It's quite simple, really. Lady Yugiri thought it best that the children know what to do in the case the Garleans found us. I should hope those days are behind us, but I nevertheless take comfort in knowing that we are prepared. The first caravan is due to depart shortly, followed by the rest at regular intervals. My family and I, including my stubborn old father, Home, will be traveling in the lead carriage together with young Koharu, whom I believe you've already met. Though I understand the road to Ul'dah is regularly patrolled by our brass blades, it would give us great comfort if you agree to accompany us on our journey. Once again, I thank you for your kindness. When you are ready to leave, please inform our coachman. Gah! Gah!
Eager to be off, are ye? Aye, well, I was meaning to have a word with ye about that. Runner from the Blade says we might have a problem. Fierce-looking BC's been sighted south of the bridge to Hammerlea. Might be someone else are playing tricks on him, of course, but I don't play to gamble in this business. Now, I know you can handle yourself in a fight, but this lot's here's another story. So I was thinking you might go ahead and have a quick look around. Make sure there's areas safe and like. And if you come across anything dangerous, you know what to do. When you're satisfied the way's clear, meet us at Horizon. The Blades tell me the road there's safe, so I reckon we can make it that far on our own. Assuming the self-same bastards don't try to rob us, that is. Not gonna lie, the little cry the chocobos do when we summon them makes my heart so happy. It's very cute. That was terrible, that was not edited at all, but you get the point. I don't know about your chocobo demons, but mine for some reason smells like vanilla. Mine smells like vanilla milkshakes, thanks to Serene. It's probably a good thing I didn't name it Serene. I feel like we would have had to make too many jokes about me riding Serene all throughout the MSQ. Oh, I never got a milkshake. I still need to go get one. Oh, right, yeah, the Armoro. We do have the Armoro and the source. No, we do not. Astral, out of curiosity, do you text and then dip for a little bit? Because usually I always answer your questions right after you put the text, and yet it seems like you missed my response. But yeah, no, we do not have Amaros in the source. Amaros in the source. They do have chocobos on the first, though. Which would suggest that the Amaro are probably an emergent property of the first, but that the Chocobo existed pre-Sundering.
No, you don't have to apologize. I'm just curious because it seems to happen. Some regularity. Like if you put in a message, I try to respond pretty right away. Weren't the Emerald specifically bred by the Ronkin? They may be. First lore is not my strongest subject matter, so it's quite possible. I know that they were around at that time, and the Ronkins had them. I didn't know if they are specifically bred by them and were like created by them. So there were beasties. Was being the operative word, eh? If you have a source for that, Demins, I would love to, if it's a quest or something, I'd love to put that in my notes. Well fought, sirs, well fought. If only I were in better health, I should have been proud to stand at your side. Pay my son no mind. He forgets that his responsibilities preclude acts of daring do. Be that as it may, I cannot help but envy you. Had we been called to upon heroes of your strengths and skill in Doma, things would have been very different. But we cannot change the past. Those who fought and fell are forever lost to us. Lost but not forgotten. Lady Ugiri's kinsmen least of all. They fought fiercest, though they knew full well it was in vain. She had every right to walk away, yet she chose to stay. Food, shelter, the promise of a better life. All this and more we owe her. How does one even begin to repay such debt? A day at a time. In kind, Father, to she who has given everything, we shall give our all. Whatever work there is to be done, we shall do without question. Ditch digging, bricklaying, it matters not. Revenant's toll will grow and prosper by our hands. Night, Tracy. Thanks for joining in. Hope you feel better. Hope it gets cooler. Yeah, wiki is effectively never worth using. All I have is wikis. Of course, it's on source, but it says that Amuro were normal beasts that were given sentience through rock and magic. I don't think that's correct at all, because we literally get through. Rock and mages give them increased intelligence. Yeah, okay, and sentient. Okay, so they did. Okay. Interesting, because the way that we are shown that they accrue the capability of speech and awareness, though, via the Amuro that we see post-Ranka, is almost more like materia and soul crystals, where they seem to almost gather knowledge to them and information and memory to them over time. Well, it looks like Tethys is agreeing with you that they did give the increased magic. So the Ronkins did give increased intelligence magic. But that's interesting in how that conflates. It doesn't contradict. It's interesting with how other information learned later. And yeah, basically, the wiki hasn't just been lately broken for FF. The wiki for 14 has always been bad. Not bad enough that's garbage, but bad enough that you should never, ever use it as a primary source. You can use it as a backup thing. You can use it as a quick checker to then go check something else, but never use the wiki as a primary source. Just don't. Especially if you can't find a direct source. So like, for instance, if it says something and it has a source and you click on that source and you find the information in that source is the same, then it's good. But you can't even just check sources. I've seen things sourced and cited, and then you check the citing, and the citing is not saying what the thing is saying. So. Thanks, Tethys. What's a good online source for lore other than Wonderful Channel? There isn't a good one. You can find direct text sources using things like Garland tools or Gamerscape, but you have to, or you basically, your best bet is you need to either use the game, you need to know what you're looking for and look up using Gamerscape for direct sourcing, and even that's not always perfect, but if it's a direct cited text, you can use it. Garland tools for direct cited text, or Encyclopedia Eorzean. There isn't a shorthand infallible source, and that's why our work is kind of important. While I installed my painting program on my other PC, so I may try to show you my work process later. If you're like, yeah, I'd love that. I would love that. Question for the kids here made me feel like I'm a hero than anything done so far. Kids love heroes. It's true. Yeah. I mean, you rarely go wrong reading any anonymous forum posts. Yeah. I don't keep notes and I don't know any resources for text in game. It's just entirely memory. Yeah. Well, that's the thing, though, is that the thing about memory is memory can get corrupted over time. So it's really important to know your sources and know where you found information, because otherwise you're going to say information like, oh, yeah, I read that. But then you actually go back and you realize that what it was saying is slightly different than what you may say. So knowing where you found information is very, very important. Good, Demins. Good, good, good.
Hey, Mr. Elio, Koharu and I would want to know why you became an adventurer.
To gain power to... oh, that's funny. These are the original 3 answers you could give when you were in the coach. But now you can put out this, to go wither the wild rose blooms.
So you like roses? I think I understand. I mean, they're nice and everything, but don't they grow in a lot of places? It's my turn now. Excuse me, Mr. Elio. I've got a question. What's Revenant's Toll like? Is it pretty?
That's true and fair.
The thing about the Unending Codex is that it's not... Here's the thing about the Unending Codex. The Unending Codex is not going to be a great source for lore. Like, it is... The Unending Codex is more of a synopsis tool in some ways than it is a in-game encyclopedia, Eorzea, or anything like that. So while it's going to be useful, for like a lot, like if it may not be quite as useful as, say, oh, I want to look up a thing on the 5th Astral Era, and it has a whole thing about that. Now, maybe it will end up being that. They haven't kind of given the impression it's going to be that, but it could be. It could be that tool, but we just don't know for now. Yeah, memory can be forgotten or misremembered. Yeah, light bulb memory. Light bulb memory is a big problem. Why does the kid look like Aaron from Attack on Titan? I don't know. If only I had a tombstone in my pocket. That's why I always pose any lore info as a question, because I know memory, especially mine, is infallible. Yeah, well, that's just like why it's important to remember that it's just as important to learn the info as to learn to like master knowing where info is found. You mean there's lots of people who are just as strong as you? Oh, I can't wait.
Thank you, Tethys.
Enough, Koharu. It's my turn again. Master Elio, when I'm older, I want to be strong like you. What do I have to do?
Milk. Lots of milk. Make sure you have a training arc.
Aha, so my father was right. How do you do it then? Come on, tell me, and don't leave anything out.
All right, that's enough questions for Mr. Elio.
That's not fair. Why does Eorzean get to ask 2 questions? I want to know about adventuring just as much as he does. Just one more, please. Do you think I could be an adventurer like you one day?
The nod. You gotta master the nod.
Really? Then I will. Thanks for the advice, Mr. Elio. I won't forget it. I'm going to be an adventurer too. When we get to Revenant's Toll, let's make an adventurers guild for Domans. We'll protect our friends and punish the wicked, just like Master Elio and Lady Ugiri.
If you've never done the quests for this, there are quests associated with their adventuring guild, and you should definitely do them.
Yeah, just like Master Elio and Lady Ugiri.
We can talk more about this in the carriage on the way. Will you be joining us? Mister, when you're gonna take us to see the oceans past these walls? And where would I find such milk, Elio? Come on, you gotta tell us. Doesn't it make you do them at some point? I don't know, does it? It's been so long. I didn't realize that they weren't optional. Yeah, they're required for Doman reconstruction. I do know that, yeah. probably what I'm thinking. Yeah, literally answers with 10 expressions in like 3 seconds. Yeah, well, like my brain came up with like 12 answers because it went like, oh, go to the corner store. Then it went, oh, bovine milk. Go to get that bovine juice. Then it went like, human memories? And then it went like, no, that's weird. Why would you say that? And then it went like, okay, just go get a gallon jug. Okay, just like, oh, jugs. Okay, wait, what? And so like, just like my brain just went like 12 different places, and I'm still having the brain fog. I know it does not necessarily seem like it, but I am still quite sick. Ah, Elio, I take it the first group has arrived. Excellent. Is there aught else? No, no. I have matters well in hand here. You and Lady Yugiri should travel to Revenant's Toll forthwith. We are ready to depart at your earliest convenience, but say the word and we shall follow. It is past time Lady Yugiri met with the guild representatives in Revenant's Toll. Since I do not foresee any further matters arising here in Hydaelyn, which might require your personal attention, I would instead have you serve as the escort to the Doman delegation for the duration of our journey. Speak first with Slathborn upon your arrival. He is the one with whom the Domans will be working most closely, I should think. Afterwards, introduce Lady Yugiri to me and Philia at the guild emissary. If both meetings go well, the resulting tie should stand the Domans in good stead for that which is to come. Safe travels, Elio. Okay, you know what? Everyone solves their puzzle their own way. That's the way of the true adventure. It's not Sunday, guys. We can't be this raunchy. We need a bonk go to Horji. Who does the bonking though? Because we already have Ray banning. And this must be esteemed Lady Yugiri and her associates. I greet you all as friends and bid you welcome to the toll. I hope you do not find our dearth of fineries off-putting. Poor though we may seem, we have a wealth of spirit and camaraderie to spare. You see, race and creed don't enter into it here. We welcome all sorts, provided they are willing to earn their keep, of course. Sunday never left my system, unfortunately. Nothing work can fix it, though. We are no strangers to hard work, Master Slathborn. You may rest assured that we will carry out your orders with all speed. Oh no, not for a moment did I doubt your commitment, my lady. Pray, understand that I give the same speech to all the new arrivals, and you needn't bow your head or call me master, either. We are both frontier hands as far as I'm concerned. As you wish, Slathborn. May this meeting mark the beginning of a long and fruitful relationship. Our guests have yet to meet the antecedents. 7 hells, Elio. Why are you wasting time with me? See them to the Rising Stones. I solve my puzzles in the True Warrior's way, hitting it progressively harder until it breaks. When I go on nights, the nights I'm off will definitely have some archives after dark for late crowd. I'm not bonking anyone. The fun kind or the bad kind? Like, are you not bonking or are you not bonking? Because if you're not bonking, I mean, we could get a dating app for you, Ray. We could figure something out. This little thing, it's nothing compared to what the Domans have endured. So many of youth these days have failed to understand that it is incumbent on everyone to help those in need. That is why it's so wonderful when young men like Hoary Boulder rise up to the occasion. I can bonk people with gobby bombs. Okay, the image of Jellybean bonking someone with a horny paddle would be funny. Did they really sail the half-rotted ship all the way from Othard? Isn't that dangerous? What if it sprung a leak? It won't be me bonking. That would be like sending a recovering cosplayer to an anime convention.
Well, I wonder what herb and spices they use in Doma. Maybe there's something I could add to my special tonic.
Jelly will always be the best bean. I'm not sure the British idiom translates. I suppose not, Ray Ray. Oh, Ida.
Let me at him.
All I know is the jumping puzzles and Kate don't mix, unless they're simple jumping puzzles like the Aether Current Quest and Stormblood, or the... I love jumping puzzles so much. Because I'm a lunatic. Oh, wait, what? Jellybean, I really do appreciate your outfit and you running around as a gobby. It's very, very cute. Okay, let's look. Bonk. British.
Yeah, that was the joke I was making.
Ray, I'm saying if you're not currently bonking anyone, we can get you a dating app. We can try and solve that. Unless you just want to do the horny bonk. Because you want a horny bonk or you want a horny bonk. Like, whatever you're feeling. To whom much is given, much is expected. Forgive me, I require a moment to compose my thoughts before meeting you with your leader. We shall join you at the Rising Stones anon. There we go. Elio, now I have to tell you, it's not Sunday.
No. It's perfectly PG. This is just about relationship and dating advice.
How far to Leviathan? Good question. 'Tis no use. Our attempts to reach the students of Baldesion continue to meet with failure. Eorzean has explored our other avenues of inquiry, but they too have yielded naught. We will preserve our course, yet within our heart the truth is clear. We are but waiting confirmation of that which we already know. How fare the Domans? I'm given to understand you are quite busy in Vesper Bay. Mayhap you question the wisdom of aiding refugees with the primal threat remaining unsolved. I should not blame you if you did, nor would I deny you this matter falls outside our normal purview. Be that as it may, I could not ignore the plight of these refugees, not when it was within our power to help them. Lady Yugiri is here. Please show her in. I should very much like to meet her. Okay, Slappe Sundays. That's what they're called now. Yep. Wow. I was not expecting that one. Literally rolling on the floor laughing for that. Okay. What did Minfilia say? We have no objections. Pray do so with our blessing. Your answer pleases me beyond words, my lady, but are you quite certain that we have no way of knowing how many might answer my summons? In the event that Revenant's toll could not accommodate us all, we would need find an alternative solution. Should that come to pass, we will find it together. As ever, it has been a pleasure, antecedent. Alas, we must take our leave, as the first carriage are due to arrive at any moment. Should you require aught else, pray speak with Slathborn, Lady Ugiri. Elio. That was amazing, Ray Ray. That was amazing. There's no rated M over the stream yet. We're good. Ugh. I guess you'll have to fly us at FanFest, Elio. Gotta get in those con naps to make it happen. Happy hour at like 11 p.m. Oh, dude, I'm so excited for FanFest to like meet up and oh man, I'm very, very, very excited. I have not been excited to go to a convention in a long time for a lot of complicated reasons. Just a lot of bad experiences on repeat for like a couple of years ago. So I just haven't been to a convention even in quite a few years now. But I'm very, very, very excited for, I hope FanFest is in person, and that'll be good. Yeah. Lamine and I will make all the necessary preparations to ensure that our Doman friends feel at home upon their arrival, though I must admit that I am still troubled about the matter of the missing crystals. Y'shtola should be returning anon with a report from a field. Mayhap you could wait here and speak with her upon her arrival?
How goes the fishing? Caught anything slippery?
Aye. Our suspicions were well founded. The Serpent Reavers are indeed the culprits.
The plot thickens.
Has there been any movement in Thanalan?
It has been blessedly quiet, which is to say the Amalja are being no more or less of a nuisance than usual, summoning Ifrit with such crystals as they have hoarded. Urianger, too, reports not out of the ordinary.
Then we have our explanation.
Your explanation for what, pray tell?
For the recent spate of crystal thefts in Thanalan, we naturally assumed that the trail would lead us back to the Amalja. Yet it did not. It led us across the sea unto Vilbrand.
Vilbrand? There have been reports of increased Sahagin activity of late. Oh gods, they mean to summon Leviathan?
That is the way of it, I fear. Whilst conducting our investigation on behalf of the mineral concern, we came upon evidence implicating the Serpent Reavers. With the aid of the Maelstrom, I was able to verify our suspicions. 'Tis only a matter of time before Leviathan returns to harrow the seas. But there is more. One of the Sahagin, an elder by my judgment, spoke of attaining the gift and knowledge of eternity.
Sorry, Koshak. We'll make sure to try to stream it and stuff for you if that makes any form.
Such a disturbance in the ether. If I did not know better, I should think this device defective. And there is the explanation.
Good. I just know, like, for me, if I wanted to go and I couldn't.
Soon it shall begin. Our Lord shall rise mid surging waves to wash away the finless ones.
I know for me, if I really wanted to go, I would actually probably end up avoiding all the streams and stuff that weren't like the official streams, because it's for me it's really hard to want to do something really bad and then not be able to and see other people enjoying it. And it's not that I don't want them to enjoy it, it's just like it doubles down, like feeling like, oh, I'm not there. And I wish that wasn't like my natural feeling, but it is. And so I just have to be like mindful about when and what I watch, and how that can like affect my mood and then make it more difficult to do other work. So if it is helpful for you, then I hope by all means that I'll make sure to create stuff that is entertaining and enjoy, and some can help replace or at least make up for that.
And I shall be granted the gift and knowledge of eternity, and with the emissary stand equal. Then shall I know no cessation, no oblivion.
Whence comes this promise of immortality? The emissary? We have outstayed our welcome.
I've been to them all over America.
The
and
gift
one in Japan.
and knowledge.
Are the two of you quite well?
You shared that vision, did you not? Even before the Sahagin made mention of the emissary, I recognized Elidibus's words. He is behind this. But surely it is not within his power to grant the echo.
Unless
My lady,
Hagen had a sundered
unless
soul.
we act swiftly, Leviathan will rise again. The Admiral has already requested that we intervene to prevent this. Failing that, we are to attend to the Primal's extermination.
She will have our full cooperation. Let us make haste to Limsa. I mean to play a part in this mission. Tataru, pray, take charge
Brexit,
in
good
my
to see you, glad to
absence.
have you. Thanks,
My
and
lady,
you can find
are
it on
you
our
sure
Discord.
this is
It is a
wise?
custom one that I made.
I am aware of the risks, but there is something I must see with mine own eyes. The true nature of the echo.
Very well. I shall not stand in your way. On the condition that you permit me to accompany you as bodyguard.
Your company is ever welcome, Thancred.
I take it something ill is afoot.
Aye, a Primal is about to be loosed
Sounds good,
on
man.
Eorzean.
Primal?
A godlike being whose very existence is a bane upon the land. We
she
scions
use
of the
Kami
Seventh
here?
Dawn
I
are
wonder.
sworn to put an end to their kind.
I see. Know then that I am learned in the arts of war. In return for the kindness you have shown my people, I would lend you my blade.
It would be most welcome. When contending with a Primal, one can never have too many able allies. If you crave a more intimate understanding of the problems facing Eorzean, this experience is like to provide it. Be sure to come well prepared.
I would also point out, in terms of we've been talking about voice acting, I would point out that all the voice actors, including Monophilia, have been way better starting in 2.2 than they were in 2.0, and that is yet another example of why direction matters and the amount of time to make things matters. So like, I don't think it was never just a performer issue. Yeah, Tattle. Yeah. Plainly, should the worst come to pass, the Leviathan is summoned. Our only recourse will be face him in battle. Given past experience, you may very well think that eventually inevitable. Yet so long as there is even a chance that the Primal's return might be prevented, we must needs bend all our efforts towards achieving that goal. Before we do aught else, let us hasten to Limsa and meet with the Admiral. She will not have been idle in the intervening time, and will doubtless have valuable information to share. Let me check. I want to check how we're doing on time. We are sea rises. Oh, okay. No, we're making excellent time. Okay. I thought there was more space in between where we're at and fighting Leviathan. By the way, if you're gonna want to fight Leviathan, you're gonna want to meet me at the tea tree. There will be 7 slots. For fighting Leviathan. Now, obviously, it's hard mode, so it's not exactly going to be a ball buster, but what can you do? Oh, speaking of the people already hanging out at the tea tree. Oh, it's in the lower deck? Oh, right, you have to go. Yes, because I forgot that the elevator's down. We still got a couple of quests, so just be aware that I'm not picking anyone up right this second. Oh, let's get some B-roll. So as we learned last time, you can't always get shots of this room, so... Just gonna get some B-roll this for 60 seconds. If anyone has any questions or anything they want to talk about with me for any reason, now's a good time. Going to be prepared. Yeah, gotta start getting set up for something. I have about 30 minutes. Have fun with Leviathan. Thanks, Aurora. Hopefully your thing goes well. Sorry, we got about 30 more seconds of this, and then I'm gonna need one more shot. So that's good. Still weird that they sort of wasted showing how Minfilia actually is. I don't know that I'd say they wasted it. And again, also like she has a different set of skills. I guess like I feel like people are really harsh on just because they didn't maximize a character's usage and making them seem hyper competent in a very specific way, that they somehow failed to make that character seem useful, good, or interesting. Like, I don't think making Minfilia seem like a really hyper badass opponent who can fight real well here would have been particularly super in her character, or like the right choice either. I think that would have just been like cool for the sake of being cool rather than characterization. Okay. But she does, though. Like, she does do things. Like, she's just, like, a logistics master, planner, using her vision, and also leader that brought people together under the Scion. So, like, it's not... The skill set isn't just being a badass. Like, there's broader usages than that. I mean, a lot of the stuff that you hear after the fact is stuff that you could have heard before the fact. It's just that they all add it into more explicit texts that you can do afterwards. But things about like her being a minor or her past or her history are things you can find out before like doing those quests later on. It's just that most people don't care to find them out because they don't bother looking into it ahead of time. I mean, like, people didn't have the same whole Y'shtola waifu thing. Like, people didn't have the same as affection for the Scions earlier on that they do now. And so some of it's also retroactive in terms of how people treat them now in terms of their level of interest. Yeah, like she was a minor. Like that's also like that's another thing is that there's a bunch of stuff that's talked about with like her being a minor, or also like the fact that like her stone and her attachment to the stone and Flamine is time is spent on that in 2.1, and also is spent on you know, the stuff that there's the short stories about the stuff that she's went through. There's you know, a lot of that stuff then comes back and ties into later quests as well, and so it's not just like they just create cool things that they did retroactively later on. Okay, that's good. Being able to coordinate everyone is a great talent help if you don't have some good at, oh man, dude, things fall apart. Flashback to college group projects. Yeah, exactly. It's not flashy, though. Welcome, friends. I take it Y'shtola has appraised you of the situation. Let us waste no time, then. According to our best intelligence, the Sahagin had not crystals enough to summon their god. Alas, we did not count on the Serpent Reavers venturing as far as Thanlin to supplement their cache. For our short-sightedness, we are faced with the grim prospect of the Leviathan's imminent return. Needless to say, I am not inclined to let the Fishbacks have their way. Even as we speak, the Maelstrom makes ready for the launch of a large-scale operation to thwart the summoning, and we would welcome the Scion's support in this endeavor. But if, gods forbid, our efforts should come to naught, I will need trouble you for more than mere support, much as I did when Titan last walked these lands. Lady Minfilia, I am given to understand that you mean to accompany our soldiers to the front lines. I can only assume that you have sound reasons for doing so. I do, Admiral, but I would rather not be drawn on their nature. I will say only that there is something I would see with mine own eyes.
Night, Koshak!
Is that so? Well, I am not so stubborn as to deny the wish of one whose aid I require, but precaution must be taken. I shall require that you remain by my side at all times. With that settled, let us speak of the operation. Private Forcheron, our scouts are currently reconnoitering Sahagin movements within the Sapsa spawning ground. Upon completing their mission, they will return to the operations staging point at Camp Skull Valley. I want you to make your way there forthwith, that you might be appraised of the latest intelligence. Commander Fulk Breda has charge of the garrison.
Night, Koshak! Do a super chat, make Elio reaction in the universe, and fund our cosplay stream! Make Elio cosplay Nashu! Woo! Bombs, 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 bombs.
She knows the waters. If we're gonna fight Titan, or fight Leviathan, she's the right one to do it.
Hello, lady, welcome back alive!
Was that a preview of next year's April Fool's video? No. Let me see if I can give it one without giving it away.
Outside. Inside. Outside, inside.
That's all you get. A soldier of the Maelstrom has kindly furnished me with information on the enemy. Armed with this knowledge, I promise you that my presence will account for something. I've been expecting you, Scions of the Seventh Dawn. On behalf of the men and women here, I thank you for your cooperation. The safety of our citizens is paramount. With your aid, we will prevent the Leviathan's return. As you may already know, Maelstrom scouts have been dispatched to reconnoiter the Sapsa spawning ground. Though it pains me to admit it, the Maelstrom has never faced a foe like this before. We must proceed with all due caution. Among other things that have, they have orders to determine where Leviathan might emerge, assuming it comes to that. And yet the return is long overdue. I fear that ill may have befallen them. For better or worse, we may ascertain their fate. If it's not too much to ask, I would have you aid us in the search. 5 scouts ventured into Sapsa all told. Here, take this flask of restorative to tend to those who may have been wounded. Though it pains me to even consider the notion. They have perished, circumstances preventing, I ask that you recover their bodies, by no means venturing too deep in enemy territory. However, we can ill afford to lose you at this juncture.
Outside.
Yes.
Deathbear, I need to get going, drive home, but it's been a fun stream. I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of the day. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, too. Thank you for joining in.
Help, somebody. Of all the times to forget the restorative.
Y'all makes me happy to be here. Good, Astral. Good.
Thank you. I owe you my life. We were ambushed by the Serpent Reavers, lightly armed as we are. We didn't stand a chance. I was able to flee this far, but the others were captured. They were taken to the Serpent's tongue, I'm certain of it. I can make my own way back to camp, but I fear the worst for my comrades. Save them, I beg of you.
Fly, Milkshake, fly. We must save them. Hi-ho, Milkshake, away! Oh god, the speed. 360 no scope. Bweh. Like que, but bweh. Your turn to thank the navigator. When I learned that you went to Serpent's Tongue by yourself, I feared you wouldn't meet an untimely demise. But tell me, what became of the others? I still love that it's Naimi and Lily. Bweh, bweh.
Dear gods. Those wounds were not intended to kill, but to torture and maim. Does their savagery know no bounds? Enemies or no, they've gone too far. I dread to think what may have become of the two who remain unaccounted for. I pray they haven't suffered the same evil fate. At the very least, one of my men came back alive, and for that I owe you my thanks. The price we paid was dear, but we have an intelligence we need. Even as we speak, the Admiral finalizes the details of the operation. The war horns will sound any moment now. Be ready to sally forth when they do. Join our channel for the low price of not much a month. You get custom emojis, special badges, and the warm fuzzy feeling of supporting your favorite archivists. The gift of eternity. Sorry, thrice damn fishback bastards. I'll kill them slowly and then chase their rotten souls through all 7 hells. Peace, Commander. We are here for a purpose, and vengeance is not it. I want you on the mind of the task at hand, savvy? My apologies, Admiral. You may count on me to keep a clear head. Good. According to our sole surviving scout, the Sahagin and their thralls have already begun to amass at the Aetheryte, in the depths of the Sapsa. If we are to act, it must be now. The men are ready. The men are ready, but await your orders, Admiral. As predicted, the Sahagins have tightened security in and around the spawning ground. A frontal assault is like to be met with a fierce resistance. Ah, but we are not so artless as that, Commander. We shall divide our forces and strike them hard and fast at key locations. Remember, our ultimate objective is to take the Sapsa Aetheryte and eliminate the Sahagin priest presiding over the summoning. We are not here to kill them all. The Maelstrom shall engage and distract the Sahagin Legion of drowned pirates, the Serpent Tongue's commander. You have charge of this effort. Be mindful that the lay of the land, they're devilish for attacking forces. Let the foreign levy spearhead the assault and have subsequent units fan out to cover their flanks. At the selfsame moment, a diversionary squadron formed of galleons from Crimson Fleet shall harry the enemy from offshore. In likewise, we Scions shall form a smaller units in hopes of confusing the Sahagins' defensive efforts. Elio and Y'shtola, the two of you are to make your way to the site of the summoning ritual. The Admiral's diversion should serve you to thin the enemy defenses, rendering your path less perilous. A small party, I believe, should be able to win through without drawing unwarranted attention. Thancred and Ugiri, your mission is to lure as many Sahagin as possible out of the spawning ground. Having done so, take to your heels and circle around to join the infiltration unit of Y'shtola and Elio. When all has been set in motion, I myself shall cut a path to the Aetheryte, accompanied by Lady Minfilia as was agreed. Well, don't let me keep you friends! To battle! Pray return to the Waking Sands, Monophilia, that are attacked you. When last did we fight side by side, Elio? Too long ago, I warrant. But come, let us away. Tomefolks would make quick work of the Sahagin camp and probably everything else in several mile radius. Double go boom! Tomefolks love booms. Such is life of Gabby. Breaking through the gates ain't got shit to do with me. Double speed is best speed. No. I can't change your mind when I agree. I mean, they made the word busy deals. What else do you want? Oh, speaking of, I need to make a sound clip for that. I need to make like an audio filter or something for when we get to Heaven's Word. Also, Jingly shines. Yep. Sun upsies. like enjoy, appreciate, like the Kobold speech patterns. I kind of like enjoy, appreciate, like the Kobold speech pattern. Yes. Yeah, I love the Kobold pattern too. Lusty eyes for Junction Brave. I literally on my wall next to me. So I have my wall, my poster board where I hang all the fan art you guys make of me, or the other Scions. That is hung up here, but on the other side I have a bunch of other art, like the official Endwalker poster and stuff. But I also have a like high quality printout of that meme of Brayflox looking back like, does Uplander have lusty eyes for a junk of Brayflox? Pray y'all don't have to read the Tataru language. What? Tataru. Read Taru language. What? Taru with Lalafell and oh, they do basically what Shitoto did, but worse. Ah. Pray, do not concern yourself. 'Twas but a glancing blow. Come, the Eighth Rite is close at hand. Let us press on.
Damn them. They have made thralls of soldiers and civilians both.
I feel like this is some of the best knife play that we get in the entirety of all the cutscenes.
So that is how you fight in the Far East. Mental note, pick no quarrel with Domans. But seriously, if I am to keep up, I must needs forsake elegance for efficiency.
Yeah, fucking show off. And this is yet further proof why that point X patch is good.
To the Aetheryte!
I was just gonna say, that was some like a flirty from Yugiri.
You'll forgive me my lateness.
skills. That's
I've been
still
something of a liability of late, I know. 'Tis high time I set about making amends.
Long have you shriveled Sorewalkers tormented our kind. But no more! Your time is at an end! You shall perish with salt in your wounds and sea in your lungs. Lord of the world, hearken to our plea. Lord of the world, deliver us from our misery.
Do you feel that?
I know this sensation. It's the echo.
What?
Sundered soul, baby.
Such power! It is transcendent!
Seven hells.
Strike me down if you will. It is futile! I have mastered the gift. I am eternal!
I cast gun. Try our 3 new flavors: banana, fizz bitch, and gun.
Ruler of the seas, born of waters primordial, I offer unto you this frail flesh, that you might grant your faithful servants deliverance.
Ah, he was a faithful.
I beseech you, come forth!
Die, damn you!
So then I started firing. So then I started blasting. That's what it is.
Heavens forfend.
What is dead may never.
Damn it all!
My being ebbs away. It should by right be infinite.
Your soul's just aether, dude.
Am I not immortal?
No.
You emissary, you promised me everlasting.
Fun fact, if you think about this is foreshadowing for Heaven's Word too. This is like an important aspect to understand about
Where
events
did he
to come later in
go?
Heaven's Word.
What say you? Nary a single ship? Hells take that sea demon. Gather the survivors and get to shore. Leave the wrecks for the pirates. Leviathan wastes no time. The diversionary squadron is lost. For a mercy, 'twould seem the Primal now makes for open sea. But why does he not press his advantage? Unless... God save us. He means to unleash a tidal wave.
Oh wait, an Ascian lied? No, it cannot be. Okay. Curse your sudden but inevitable betrayal. Understand, I speak of no normal wall of water. That which Leviathan makes ready to conjure carries more destructive power than aught seen in nature. Enough to raise entire coastal settlements. If his last attempts is any guide, we cannot suffer history to be repeated. Yet how in seven hells are we to prevent it? Though our plight cries for action, we must take a thought. So long as Leviathan remains in the open sea, he is effectively beyond our reach. Our fleet is second to none. Of that you may be sure, but Limsa herself would struggle to best the Lord of the World in his element. In a straight fight, he would make meat and matchwood of us. We need another plan, that which is plain. Let us return to Limsa and see if we cannot think of one. I shall await you, in the command room. Do you like what we do? Consider showing your support and signing up for our Patreon. You've heard of Bill Nye the Science Guy, but how about Shill Will? Well, Shill Schmai, the Elio guy. Shill. I tried. I wasn't thinking straight. I'm a bit distracted. Close your eyes, listen to the sexy voice, and follow us on Spotify. Was already wading out into the water to fistfight Leviathan. Aww. Oh, it's so nice to have so much voice acting.
There used to be a hamlet beyond South Tidegate in western Lanosha. Hearthstone, 'twas called. Some years prior to the Maelstrom's founding, Leviathan rose from the briny depths and set about unleashing watery hell upon us. On that occasion, the company of heroes put him down before he could do too much damage. But when the bastard came next, this time in the wake of the calamity, we were not so fortunate. Weary of ravaging our shoreline, he summoned a tidal wave which fair leveled Hearthstone and washed the soil away for good measure.
The area was subsequently occupied by the Sahagin.
Aye, the thrice-damned creatures transformed it into a spawning ground for their brood. Given the quantity of crystal stolen to feed him and his legion of thralls, we can be fairly sure that Leviathan is stronger now than in his previous incarnations. If that sea demon is left to wreak havoc, what befell Hearthstone may well befall a larger settlement, even Limsa. That cannot happen. The Primal must be stopped.
That was ever our objective, Admiral. But how are we to achieve it? The sea is Leviathan's uncontested domain. The ships of the 3rd Squadron could not close to within 100 yards of the Primal, nor could their cannons pierce his defenses.
I have read the reports, Master Thancred. Our warships may as well have been bloody pleasure barges for all the good they did. 7 hells! Is there no way that we might strike back?
The company of heroes defeated Leviathan, having first lured him into an inlet, but we must needs contend with him upon the open sea. It will avail us little to consult past experience.
Admiral, if I may.
Speak freely, Marshal.
By all accounts, Leviathan's most formidable weapon is the very sea itself. Waves and whirlpools, tides and currents, all these things are his to command. The key to victory, I believe, lies in disarming our foe. This, in effect, is what the company of heroes achieved with their ruse. We cannot lure Leviathan from the sea a second time. But what if we could weaken his hold upon the element of water? I have heard of devices capable of such wonders. They draw upon the power of corrupted crystals, I am told. If mounted upon a ship, such a device might be used to prevent Leviathan from bringing the full force of the sea to bear against us, rendering him no more dangerous than any other sea serpent.
Of course! Sid built a similar device to grant the Enterprise safe passage through Garuda's Tempest, did he not?
Begging your pardon, my lady, but to give credit where it's due, this is something I heard from an old arcanist friend of mine.
It makes little difference who thought of it first, so long as it works. Beg the specifications of this device from your friend, and I shall pass them on to our people at Naldic and Vermelis. But before we proceed any further, I would voice one concern. Piercing Garuda's defenses is one thing. Suppressing Leviathan's attacks, quite another. In matters of science, I am as a babbling babe, but I cannot well imagine that such a feat would be possible without a veritable mountain of corrupted crystals. The question being, do we have a ship big enough to bear such a burden?
Mayhap not, Admiral, but two might. Recall you the tale of Mistbeard's greatest haul? It is said that he lashed 2 ships together, side by side, the better to bear his plunder. By your leave, we might attempt to repeat the trick. The gods know it would be quicker than building a new vessel.
Mistbeard did this. Truly, Marshal, upon the subject of the Pirate King, you are as a scholar.
Now, from what I have gleaned of these matters, the device will need to be in close and constant proximity to the target. To wit, we must lash our twin vessel to Leviathan. This in itself will be no small feat. Ramming speed will be required, but given the weight of the cargo, that will only be attainable with the aid of a towing vessel. Suffice it to say, the task of piloting said vessel will entail considerable danger, and I would not ask it of another. I volunteer myself.
'Twill be dangerous for all involved, but we have no better recourse. Very well. Commodore, assemble the remnants of the fleet at Morabee Bay. Give priority to our soundest vessels. The repairs can wait. Storm Marshal Slafierson, command of the operation is yours. I want that twin vessel ready to sail post-haste.
At once, Admiral.
Yeah, I was about to say it probably is the same VA. Hey, Catherine, good to see you. Glad to have you. Is he the only seen? I don't know. I think this
And
must
then
be
there is the
potentially have
small
a
matter of slaying
DA
the beast.
in Endwalker.
The fate of Limsa Lominsa rests upon your shoulders
It might
once
be power.
again. Go well, warrior of light.
Fun fact, Vritra, Hori Boulder, and Gosetsu, same voice actor. Let's kick some Leviathan ass, baby! Beings held as gods also exist in what you call the Far East. Legends tell us they walked among us in days of yore, but I confess that I never truly believed them. That I should live behold one is humbling, and horrifying in equal measure. Now that I have come face to face with a primal, I do begin to understand why the Garleans fear them so. What is it? Oi, a message, Admiral. I judge it best that it be delivered at once. I am listening. According to Yellow Jackets, a man has appeared who claims to have defeated Leviathan. Oh, not one of the company of heroes. The details are yet hazy, Admiral. We have dispatched one of our own to question the individual. I am disinclined to put a storm by this claim, and yet even should he be true, it is as Ishtola said, none save the company of heroes bested Leviathan, and we know how they went about it. If this man is any of their number, what could he tell us? What that we do not already know? Slay the worm! And yet, having wagered Limsa's survival on 2 ships, some rope, and a pile of crystals, can we afford to ignore this man? If his testimony could yield us any manner of advantage, should we not hear it? Damn it all! The twin vessel will soon be ready. We have no time to wait for the Maelstrom's report of support Primal Slayer's claims. Elio, seek him out and learn that which he knows, and at the very least it'll spare you the torment of waiting for the reckoning in idleness. Could it be the Slayer of Titus? When I came across this guy the second time, I immediately went all fray. I wanted him dead for not just wasting my time, but possibly endangering the light side of the entire island. Now look here, you'll have your bloody story right after to carry those sacks of grain over to the mill. But sir, That's what you said before you had me pick up those oranges for you, and before I mucked out the chocobo stables, and before I rolled the millstone over to the mill, and also before... Gods, man, have I worked 3 days straight without a wink of sleep? 3 days, and do you hear me complaining? Oh, hi, Dimple.
I bring the boy.
Hey. Oh, you want down? Okay.
He's a very good boy.
Bah, I suppose it's just made of the right stuff or rough stuff. Alright, I'll give you what you want. Never let it be said that old Tractum ain't a generous soul. Now, prick up your ears, because I won't be repeating myself. Too modest, see? Besides, there's only so much epicness a man can take in one sitting, you can? Ahem. The tale of Tractum's epic victory over the dread primal Levitabus. Levibitus. Now, Levibitus, huge, make no mistake. To give you an idea of how big each of his scales is, about as wide across as a members long. And that's no mean feat, let me tell you. When I fought him, I could barely see it for all the brine he was pelting me with. Must have been lagoon's worth at least. He even knocked me trusty axe out of my hands at one stage. Of course, that proved to be a grave mistake. What happened next? Why, I grabbed him by the tail and tied him up in knots, but not wanting to take all the glory for himself, I let me mates in the company of heroes handle the rest. Like I said, I'm modest as well as heroic. Mayhap too modest. Now, there's some as say you can never truly beat Levibitis. That you got to learn to live with them and make best of a bad situation. Not the company, though. Ah, it's you! I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. I was just enjoying the attention is all. I take back everything I said. I was never part of the company of heroes. I'm no marauder. I'm actually a complete coward. I'm nothing. I'm Chocobo Dung. No, I'm the maggots you find wriggling in the Chocobo Dung. I have to lie to women to tumble them, and that don't happen much. My members are tiny. It's pathetic. Like diabetes. Levibitus. I'm sure as hell didn't fight the Levibitus, but I've seen him with my own eyes. 'Twas a fair few years back when I was working as a baker's hand. I was shirking my duties one day, loitering about the harbour when I saw it. A great big massive sea serpent, some moms off the coast, with a fleet of galleons making straight for it, cannons firing. I was so bloody scared, I soiled myself right there and then. What? Oh gods, just remember that day made me soil myself all over again. Hey, wait, if you're asking about Levibitus, it means you're planning to fight him, aren't you? Well, take care, he really is a terribly dreadful. I'll tell you, if you're not careful, you'll end up in his gullet at the bottom of the sea. Why, you worthless lying whoreson, I can't believe you made me handle Chocobo Dung. Elio, this is Minfilia. Were you able to learn aught of use against Leviathan? I beg your pardon? Levibitus? I see. That is unfortunate. At any rate, I have tidings for you. The twin vessel is now complete. We await you at the Morbi dry docks. Pray, make your way here as soon as you are able. We have opened a merch store. You can now find it at redbubble.com. Thank you, Tethys. Was I able to learn anything? I learned what a man literally soiling himself in fear smells like. Will that help? Maybe. Maybe it's that becomes part of an alchemical potion recipe that we need to learn later on. Okay, Enzar, let's do this. I'm told your jaunt to the Grey Fleet proved fruitless. My sympathies, lad. I'll wager it served to take your mind off the events of recent days, though. But enough of that nonsense. The moment of truth is upon us. The twin vessel, the World Eater I call her, is complete, and she surpasses all my expectations. In addition to her prodigious tonnage, she has been fitted with a platform that you and yours might maneuver freely in battle. I would mention also that she is nigh unsinkable, but I'm not one to tempt fate. The World Eater and her crew stand ready, my friend. Just give the word and we shall bear you to the Leviathan. Ah, look at... Now I know that look. You are ready. Having been constructed in some haste, the World Eater may not be pretty, but I assure you she is capable. She has fitted with our friends at Naldik and Vimils, are calling an elemental converter. Assuming the thing works, it will use the power of the corrupted crystals on board to rob Leviathan of its hold over water. Depending on how the battle unfolds, you may well need to reactivate the device manually. Keep that in mind. What's the alchemical recipe named? Double Smelly Burn! It is expected that the Sahagin and their thralls will attempt to come to Leviathan's defense. Accordingly, the Maelstrom will once again employ diversions. Thancred and Y'shtola, I would have you assist in this effort. If it is to fulfill its purpose, your divisionary forces must not want for numbers. By your leave, I too would volunteer my blade. We would welcome it. Having seen the fight in Sapsa, I dare say the fishbacks will find your presence highly diverting. Thancred and Y'shtola, if you would join the 3rd Levy and Lady Ogiri the 5th. But what words have I for the man who has made a sport of slaying gods? Only these. Go warily, for the sea is an unforgiving place to wage war. May the navigator guide you through the storm, O warrior of light. I would echo the Admiral's sentiment and add a few words of my own. Know that we will all have the utmost faith in you, Elio. May the crystals bless you and keep you. Okay, let's meet at the tea tree if you want to do the World Eater with me. Tea tree, tea tree, tea tree, tea tree. Ah, look at all ya. Is everyone... Are people just wearing, like, summer outfits? Okay, we have 1, 2... and there we go. Okay, wow. That worked out really well. Okay, I'm gonna turn on something real quick. Give me a second. What was it? Stream. My stream deck program was actually turned off, so there we go. Now it's on. Test. Okay, yeah, everything's good. Gabi's getting a 10 on his cruise. Okay, everybody ready? Okay. wonder if the elemental... I mean, like, none of them... The amount of strength that they have is a byproduct of the, like, amount of Aether used to summon them and that they have access to and stuff. So, like, saying which one's strongest is weird. But especially because of the size and scale and stuff, I wonder if Leviathan is one of the stronger ones. I mean, it also depends that we're fighting it on his home turf, so... Elio looking good in the light. Oh, I always love this shot. In some ways, it does feel like 2.22 is like when they first really got their shit together. Let's hit it. Anyone can feel free to do the thingamaboober. As long as you know when to do it. It's magic, right? Yeah, range attacks, yeah. Thingamaboober is the technical term. It is! I bet you if I click on it, it literally will say that. Drink deep of the sea's bitter draught. Spoom! Geyer spoom! Let Issa get that. Power, is that true or like what's the source for that? Because the tsunami that hit would have... Oh, so during 1.x, okay, when they did Mogglmog. Yeah. But there also wasn't the setup for Leviathan. So where did they say that? Because they had setup for Moggle. God, hard mode is so easy. There's so little going on compared to EX. I remember them talking about the tsunami and how that affected production. I didn't remember them saying that that's why they cut him out of 1.0. Did they say that they cut Leviathan out of that out of 1.x in 1.0? Because I remember that the whole section. If they did, then I need to rewatch that whole thing because that means I'm forgetting parts of it. Well done, everybody. They stated in the documentary. Cool. Yeah. Look, at this point, at that many of you are saying, I totally believe you guys. Cool. That means I need to go sit down and rewatch the no-clip doc. Because if I'm forgetting details as important as that, then who knows what else I'm forgetting. Guys, Lady did me, did us a sketch.
Such is life for Daddy.
You're breaking my heart! Oh, it's so cute. If you want that on a mug or something, make sure to, if you want that, like, as merch, make sure to tell, Lady how much you like it. I think you're gonna kill Jellybean with how sad that was. If you like our custom emotes, Lady Darksong takes commissions. Thank you, Tethys. Thank you, everyone, for helping me finish the Leviathan. Nah. If you want, we can take a quick Leviathan photo. If you want, we can just, like, huddle up in close. Gabi EX has stopped responding. Oh. Okay. Okay. G-pose. There we go. Open emote. No. That's not what I want to do. That's not. No. Yeah. Oh, nope. Self and PCs. There we go. There we go. Select field. Nah. Okay, that's good. Cool. And posting that in screen. One quick second. There you go. Adia, good to see you. Glad to have you. Joined right at the end. Yes. I'm probably actually going to finish this quest up. I'm not even going to finish point 2. I think my plan is to we'll wrap up point 2 next time, but I also need to do all the Dragoon quests, as well as other stuff. So there are other things that we need to do preparatorily for Heavensward, and I think that's what next episode will be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish Lord of the World, the quest, and then we're going to wrap up there for today because I am also still pretty sick, and I could use a rest. Yes, go shower the sadness away and bring forth the greatest of all joys that come from the shower, which is cleanliness. Bold call. Look, my brain's still loopy, okay? What do you want from me? Yes, Issa will need me, okay. Keep taking care of you, Ella. I will, D. Thank you very much for caring. Nice save. Yes, it's not Sunday. I try to keep things PG.
Till sea swallows all. And swallow all it would have had Leviathan prevailed. That we still strive now, we owe in no small part to you. Not for the first time, you have delivered Limsa from the wrath of a primal. Never has our nation known a stouter ally. On behalf of my people, I give you my humblest thanks. 'Tis meet that I give thanks to old Mistbeard, too, for his fine solution. Whatever else he may have been, 'tis clear he was a resourceful soul. Would that I had a man like him in my service.
Before I set foot in these lands, I had no inkling that the people of Eorzea contended with such mighty foes. Suffice it to say, their existence came as something of a shock, as did the idea that they could be defeated. This experience has served to remind me of the vastness of the world, and the boundless potential of man. Though I am but a refugee in this realm, I would fain be of use to you in your fight. Know that I am tutored in one of the foremost combat arts of the Far East. It may seem outlandish to the Eorzean eye, but should any of your people care to learn, I would be pleased to initiate them.
And I will see to it that they are grateful. I have no doubt that your knowledge and skills will serve us well. Besides, your art is not so outlandish as you think. Would you not agree, Master Thancred?
Not
you can also
escapes
just
your
position
searching
Virna in a
eye,
different place.
Admiral.
I'm not going to hide Bravura,
Few
so
are
just
privy
position
to
it
this
in a different
information,
place.
but Limsa is home to a certain secret fraternity. Its members are trained in a form of combat not unlike your own. By my judgment, it should not be beyond such individuals to adapt to the techniques I witnessed you employing with such admirable deftness.
I am heartened to hear this. I too noted a kinship between your style and mine own, though it seemed to me that you fought differently in the beginning.
I suppose I did. What can I say? I'm a man of many talents.
Though you may labor to believe it, Thancred was once something of a scoundrel who fraternized with the criminal class in these parts.
No.
Yestola! You jest, of course.
But for a chance encounter with Alphino's grandsire, he might never have left Limsa.
Oh, I didn't realize they pointed that out here.
Or received an education in Sharlayan, or taken up his post in Uldar, which is where he trained in the blade, lest you wonder.
Which is why before being classified as a rogue in 2.x, he's classified as a gladiator.
It would seem there is more to you than meets the eye, Master Thancred.
Lady Yugiri, I am told that you and yours came to Eorzea seeking permanent resettlement, and that many domins have since been engaged as frontier hands at Revenant's Toll. Morderna is many things, but a place of refuge it is not. Know that I would like nothing better than to furnish your people with a new home here on Lominsan soil. Alas, racked by instability as we are, our nation is in no fit state to take you in. Yet I'll not have it said that we turned a blind eye to your suffering. Until such time as we can do more, I pledge to send provisions.
We are in your debt, Admiral. I realize that it scarce qualifies as repayment, but if it please you, I shall set about sharing my martial knowledge with your people at once.
Oh, it's Yestola time.
You wished a word in private.
The better not to spoil the festive mood. History repeats itself, Admiral. As the kobolds stood before them, the Sahagin resorted to summoning their god over a territorial feud. They acted in self-preservation. It may be that the Sahagin initiated this particular clash, but how it begins does not interest me so much as how it ends.
I have not forgotten our conversation, Y'ashtola. I am aware that man bears part of the blame for the Primal's existence. Nor am I ignorant of the Sahagin's reason for acting. They sought to secure a place to breed and multiply that their kind might survive. Self-preservation, as you say. But we have as much right to live and thrive as they. If our own survival is threatened, are we to lay down our arms and welcome oblivion? Nay.
And so you kill, that you might live. Yet if living is a right, then that right belongs to all peoples, be they men or beastmen.
I'll not deny your reasoning, but when a storm gathers, it falls to me to see my people safely through it. That is my duty, and I shall do it.
As must we all, Admiral. Stay the course, then, but know that it will lead to no good end.
This plot point is set up here, and is literally like this story that is being told right here. It starts in The Realm Reborn
Man
and
has
is continually
ever put
told
himself first and foremost. To
all the way
justify
into
his
5.x.
actions, he clads himself in the armor of righteousness, though it be a fancy of his own making. In this, mayhap the Garleans and we Domans are not so different.
Hell, it's even told into Endwalker, really. Like, there are multiple narratives that are, like, actively being told. Like, it's not just like, oh, the expansion's done, it's over.
As a raging sea. If we are to keep our heads above the waves, we cannot scruple to drown the man next to us. When hopes of coexistence founder, strength must determine who has the greater right to live.
Nay, we are but men. Rock! This is not the greatest song in the world now. Okay. A long ass fucking time ago in a town called Kickapoo, there lived a humble family, religious through and through. But yea, there was a black sheep, and he knew just what to do. His name was young JB, and he refused to step in line. A vision he could see. Okay, let's get back to the 8th right into the tea tree. Okay, let's wrap it up for today. Only 20 minutes early. I see we got a bunch of Dark Knights here. Oh, what even is that great sword? Direwolf Guillotine. Interesting. Is it a bunch of Dark Knights versus the Paladin Gabi? Is that what's going on here? Interesting. The line, a town called Kickapoo, cracks me up every time. Okay. Well, we're about to head out, so, you know, usual. Mondays, we stream MSQ. Tuesdays, we stream MSQ. Wednesdays, new videos come out. Thursdays, we stream MSQ again. Fridays is Lore Book Club. Saturdays is community nights. Sundays are ostensibly free days, however, I always end up working, and also lately I've been streaming on Twitch for you guys because it's been a lot of fun. Make sure to go follow us on Twitch. We just reached affiliate, so now we're going to be able to have all sorts of fun points and little goodies and things going on over there. On top of that, I'm setting up a Ko-fi, coffee, whatever how it's supposed to be, or some sort of system for people to be able to give money so that the YouTube doesn't take a cut if they're worried about that, because some of you have reached out for me at that. We have Redbubble if you want to get stickers or magnets of our lovely, lovely emotes as drawn by the lovely, wonderful lady, Lady Darksong. If you like reading written lore, don't forget to go check out Eorzean archives.com. If you like watching our videos, why not go watch our videos again? You can also listen to our podcasts, Lore Talks and End Talkers, over on Spotify. On top of that, you can also find me at what? Nope, I lost it. Yeah, but just so everyone knows, thank you so much for joining. Don't forget to turn on your notifications for Discord, and make sure that you are signed up to get dinged whenever we do, because we're doing at notifications now, not at everyone. Yeah, want to see scantily clad archivists? Well, we don't have those yet, but sign up for our Patreon anyways. It goes a long way to making the whole thing a lot more sustainable, and there's lots of fun rewards. And maybe one day there will be an only archons. I'm just saying. We've opened a merch store. Yes. Do you like what we do? Consider showing our support at Patreon. For the record, the dire wolf is one of the PvPs. Yes. Once I saw the name, I knew what it was. Thanks, Aaron. Previous episodes of the MSQ and Chill. Gobby video. Thank you for the Gobby video. Gobby. We have a TFC on Crystal Curl and a Euro T on FC on Chaos Phantom. DM a mod in Discord for details and invites. Managed to pop in for a moment right before you head out. Sorry, RIG. It's good to see you and glad to have you, and we'll definitely hope to see you tomorrow. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely, Chris. We have Crossworld Link Shell as well, so if you aren't on those data centers, you can still be part of our Crossworld Link Shell. Check your own roles. Message me if you're unsure. Also happy to see you feeling much better, Elio. Thanks, Raiji. Yes, I'm getting better bit by bit. It's a slow-going process. Lork in the screenshots. Perhaps since tomorrow's the day off. Yeah, hopefully. That'll work. Hopefully that'll work. Yeah, I'm going to go get things going with Issa to figure out what Issa needs from me. So, with all that, if anyone has any final things to say, I'm setting up my 60-second before logging off timer. If you have anything you want to say, funny, silly, or otherwise, or a final question, now is your chance. Thank you so much all for joining me and for helping me defeat Leviathan today. I'm just gonna spin in the meantime. I was expecting that to last longer. Emotes are good. Thanks for the stream. Get rest, stay hydrated. I will do just that. We'll do both of those. I promise. Okay, that's it, guys. Have a lovely evening. I will see you tomorrow.